Because now it's got the aspect of a tree and he does more damage with it with his sword.
Okay, so we are up to session number 65, and I will have people introduce themselves and then remind people where they are. First person up is Jeremy before he has to duck away for a little bit.
Yes.
Yes, good evening all. I'm playing a proud Atruaghin tribesman who was once entrusted with the role of watching over and ensuring that everyone maintained discipline and law within the society. However, he's now being sent on a spiritual quest to look after the spiritual law of the people when he returns.
So he basically has some more understanding of what the world he's about to invade is like.
Yes. Because it's
Exactly.
trying to do that.
Find out their weaknesses.
It's no wonder you have so much in common with Drazzle. So at the table today we have Paul.
Who is Claw, who is a very charismatic diplomat and warlock, and also the party's part-time healer.
What do you mean part-time? I thought you were the full-time healer. I thought Drazzle just gives people hugs.
We have had a cleric in the group on at least once, and in fact Paradir is a cleric. Partly a cleric.
He's only studying clericism.
That's true.
Who's this Paradir you talk of? Dragon's the Dragonborn. We didn't bring the dragon with us.
Kessler.
I am playing Lonnie. She is the human fighter, weapons master, muscle of the group. Here, now along with these guys that she's built a bond with, ready to protect them at all costs and helping to figure out what is going on with this tree of life.
Mm-hmm. And we also have Stefan.
Yes, I'm currently playing Tidal Rift.
Only kind of though.
Kind of.
Sometimes he also plays Title Rift.
Yeah. Depends on how to say it.
However you intone it is how his mood is on the day. He is, after all, water-based.
Yes.
The element changes my mood. I may or may not be what are they called? Season-changing elf.
Yes, but you're a moody elf because you have the tide to
Yes,
go with.
that's right.
Named after the thing that sets your mood.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll do lots of running around and punching things and no screaming at curtains or carpets.
Luckily, there's only draperies where you are.
Yes.
You still have to work on that.
True, yeah, it's probably a decent roll to get past that one.
Well, you did set the last one alight, which did solve a quest and get rewarded for it, and everyone congratulated you for setting it alight.
Yeah.
So I can't
So
see
you
how
probably-
not setting it alight in the future is going to be bad.
Exactly.
No, I mean, I got
There's
technically
ways
rewarded for
around
destruction, so, it's just our business.
Though throwing candles at it didn't work so well in the end.
No, but apparently throwing perfume at random passersby worked very well.
As does sharing potions of luck.
Yeah.
Different story. Friday night game.
Okay.
You'll find out about that later.
Alrighty.
I'm sure Drazzle will explain it at some point.
I'm sure he will. Jazzle tells me all kinds of stories.
We also have two potential players who may join depending on how they feel, which is Ariadne and Clarissa. Both of them are currently occupied, and if they feel up to it, they will join when they've had a chance to rest.
Perfect.
With the story so far, you are currently... I should move this over so I can actually be seen looking at people instead of staring off to the side. How those things go. Yep, I'm actually on camera this time. So yes, they are currently doing a story called Tree of Life. Which, funnily enough, has something to do with a tree of life.
And me, our sword.
And our Praetor will be back in a little while all this is happening, so don't worry, you don't have to worry about your Atruaghin tribesmen having to lop down trees to help you. Because you'll be able to solve the problem without him, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
So what has happened up to this date? You met with Ariadne and managed to get assigned to a quest that many elves have been lost on.
Yes.
So that they agreed to send non-elves along to this one. Mainly because not many other elves were willing to travel with the clan who's taking on this quest. And Llewell is currently a clan of one, but hey.
If there are any other shadow elves out there, then I end up with more clansmen.
Well, if you come across others, you might actually be able to figure out why your clan is technically still alive, because one of the law aspects of taking out the Moonblade is to kill the clan. So that means that because the Moonblade didn't die, the clan still existed.
Yes. Which is why I could get there.
And considering nearly every clan is related to every other clan via marriage and ancestry, it's just that you've probably got a 3,000-year-old link to this clan.
Yes. So many generations, nobody knows who it was.
Well, that's only about 5 to 10 generations.
Well, yeah, that's true.
When you talk a long time, elves aren't really that bad for talking a long time.
I know, but can you actually name your great-great-great-grandparents?
I know, because my grandparents never told me who their parents were.
There you go. It can happen.
It can.
Yeah.
You need a 23andMe test out here.
Yes.
Magicalancestry.com.
The only downside to that is you give up all rights to privacy when you enter it.
Yep.
Unfortunate, but at least you get to find out something if someone else has entered something that you can then steal.
Exactly.
Would you really want ancestral memory? Like, that stuff would just be freaky.
Oh, I'd be tempted to put in fake stuff.
Yeah.
Just to mess with it. I think that'd be great. I think like we were doing a family tree, but not the DNA part.
Yes. Unfortunately, there are clauses in there that once you get the DNA thing, you've given that company rights to your DNA.
Yeah.
That's actually in all the clauses.
Yeah.
Yes, because one of the things they do with it is they clean it, but they sell the data for medical research.
Yep.
Okay, so
It's actually a good portion of their income.
After accepting this, you travelled to Alfheim through the gate network that Redrian has starting to set up in this storyline. He's actually got the connection to Alfheim. At which point you found out that Llewell is no longer welcome in Alfheim town. Because he's currently he set off the wards of the town, which he'd never seen set off before.
I did not set the alarm off.
Which I don't
The
think
sword
the
did.
guards set off the... They
no.
haven't seen that alarm either.
No.
Yeah, they haven't seen the alarm.
yeah,
They just know it
nobody
was an
had.
alarm.
Most of them didn't know that alarm existed.
Yes.
I'm trying to work out why every group that goes towards Elfheim always ends up either disappearing or going off elsewhere, or something bad happens. Seems to be something
And
about...
so he ended up getting a personal meeting with the tree keeper outside of the city, which has never happened before.
Oh. Yeah, it must have really pissed
And also with the king of the elves, which has also never happened before. Because he's not permitted on premise anymore. He's not allowed to pass through the gates, because if he does, it's considered an act of war.
Yes, because I've just turned into a hostile state.
What he found out was he is now the champion of the first elven nation.
Because the Shadow Elves were the first elves.
Right.
And of the
Which-
first royal family.
Yes, because everyone else is an offshoot
Yeah.
of that first family.
There were
So me
10
turning
original.
up is really politically fragile.
So there were 10 original clans, and 4 of them are missing. One of them being the royal family's clan, which that sword belongs to, and has claimed him as a member of that clan.
Yes.
He might be 1% member of that clan, but he's now a full-on member of that clan.
And
So don't you love how genetics work?
Yeah. Yeah. Elven Genetics 101.
Well, either that or he would have pulled out the sword and nothing happened.
yes.
Or it could have struck him down if it thought of him as a threat. There are more than 10 elven clans, but there are only 10 original clans. So most of the sub-clans are part of the
The
higher
ancestral
clans.
clans. Yeah.
So character could easily be related to one of the small branches at the bottom that has been under the umbrella of this actual clan.
But if the rest of the clan's gone away, I'm up here now.
Well, for all intents and purposes, the sword carrier is second in command of the clan.
No.
Because the sword carrier is by definition the champion.
Yep.
And the
And,
sword,
and therefore the war leader.
and the champion is tempered by the tree keeper. And that clan never had a tree keeper.
Because it doesn't have it doesn't have a tree.
Yeah.
The trees were never created during the first Elven Empire. They were
Yeah.
created during the second Elven Empire when the 4 clans had already been missing.
And there's the
Right,
political threat, because if I'm going to do things, if the Shadow Elves are going to do anything properly, they need a tree. The only way to get one is nick somebody else's.
Oh no,
At the moment.
they can technically take ownership of all of Elfheim by birthright.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
So
But if
that's
we-
the big political thing.
So
Yes, if we
disregarding
want to
all
go down a
trees
step
and
and just have our own tree, the only way to get one is nick one.
They were never followers of Ilsundal,
Yeah.
so they
So
don't have a
technically
right
you-
to the tree.
technically you just take over.
So that becomes less of an issue.
Ilsundal was
Right.
one of the elves that he set up the Sylvan Realm, the second Elven Realm.
Yeah.
He led as a mortal the elves away from the first Elven civilization.
Yeah.
So, and he created the Tree of Life. So he never interacted. He may have interacted with the other 4 clans, but
But he
they never
wasn't part of
interacted with him as an immortal.
Yeah.
So that little bit of information does make the world a very messed up place. But
Especially since now we've got the, at present, leader of the Shadow Elves, who has Ilsundal as a personal patron.
yep. So that's why it's
That
part
just-
of all levels of messed up.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I'm not following the religion of Ilsundal. My sister is. My sister's an Ilsundal cleric.
You do follow the base belief structure.
But yeah,
but
it's-
Ilsundal's base belief structure is
Yeah.
nature over technology.
Yeah.
That is the core of his belief structure.
Yes. And now I'm also carrying the Staff of Mazikeen, who is largely the other way around.
I was gonna say that sounds like a demon.
Just checking to make sure things are still working.
Yeah.
So alarms went off. We met with them, and then they told us to leave, so we left.
And that they basically assigned a quest to the clan champion because you were the last clan champion to show up. Even though Nissia is technically a clan champion, they didn't recognize she was there because they were too focused on you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just so distracted.
She also wasn't there at the time, so she missed
Yes.
out on that whole interaction of being welcomed home after being missing for
Right?
God knows how long.
Yeah, like she's
Part
been
of the-
missing for how many years, and like,
Yeah.
we don't know who this
I'm-
is. Just like a person
I'm-
with
I'm-
another sword. Oh, looks Elven. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm sorry you missed the session that involved all of your background,
Yeah.
and is the only one that ever will.
Oh, no, that also involved Cameron's character's background
It
as well.
did,
Oh,
yeah.
I know.
And I also
And he
had
wasn't you either.
and I had another big side story arc just for his character that got cut.
Yeah.
It may go to this group or one of the other groups, but it was all about how his artifact worked.
Ah, gotcha.
Right.
And I was leading into it with I was going to add little bits over every 3 to 6 months
Yeah.
of things happening relating to that before it was, bing, here it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just a, by the way, you've now got to do this, you're fucked over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was he's chosen to go down that path.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fucked over.
Yeah.
Internet.
Oh, yeah, internets. You need internets. So yes, you met with the elves. You had figured out that bad things were happening, and
Followed various instructions and clues.
you're given badly formed instructions with incorrect information and sent on a wild goose chase by the leaders of Alpine because they didn't want this champion to win. They were still hoping the other champions would return.
Hmm. And they're not.
But officially, by their laws, they had to give you information.
Yes. It just the rules don't say correct information.
They did give you correct information, and then they
It
gave
just
you
doesn't
extra
say very
information on top of
clear
that. So,
Yes.
so they gave you the letter of the law,
Okay.
and then screwed you over.
Yes. Yeah. Fortunately, we got more correct information as we went further, including from a unicorn.
Yeah, which makes you think it's from one of the gods.
Well,
Could've-
yes.
could-
There is a god
could
whose
not
symbol
been.
is the unicorn.
Yes.
Though I can't tell you who that is off the top of my head right now because there's 170 odd of them.
I was gonna say there's a lot of gods.
Yes.
So, through some
But-
divine intervention,
Yes.
Uh,
Do a search on wilderness gods because hey,
Yeah.
unicorn.
Luo got
Not
you
necessarily.
got
Or Fae gods.
that vision, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Luo got that vision, and we caught a rainbow.
yes, and you caught the rainbow.
Yes.
No Skittles required.
I don't know.
And then inside the rainbow, you met up with a crazy gnome
Yup.
who likes to make things go boom.
It's a gnome.
So Drizzle glitter bombed it while hugging it.
Yeah.
Apparently knew the gnome from elsewhere. And when the bombs went off, decided to shake gnome further until candy fell out, and then put gnome down and started eating candy. Apparently that's a thing.
Because the gnome had made sure he had candy in his pockets because he knew it was going to happen.
Because Drizzle had told him he'd meet him in the rainbow. Or her. Hard to tell when it's a gnome.
Hard to tell it's Drazzle. I don't think it matters very much.
Well, Drizzle doesn't have a male or female. Drizzle is just Drizzle.
Yeah.
As you found out, that no dragonborn is actually, they're all born non-sexual.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They cannot reproduce
Mm.
by design.
Yep.
How long that will last for will depend on how smart the people who are making them are.
Or if a dragonborn gets a wish and uses it.
Again, that would just be really messed up in other ways.
Yeah.
That also depends on the person.
Yeah.
Yes.
You should have internet. It should be able to connect automatically-ish.
Yeah, it's showing it's connected, so it's okay. Cool. Thank you.
All good.
Oh right. Okay. Yeah. No, I was just remembering what was happening.
And then once you manage to find your way through, because instead of doing everything wrong, you actually managed to figure it out after one mistake. Talking to a dragon, Jeremy's character losing his name.
Yeah. So his name is no
Yeah.
longer Prairie Dew.
He gave up his name
Yes.
to a Fey deity.
So what does that pray don't?
Lonnie's been called. He's what did he say?
We did come up with a use name for it.
Jeremy said, "I'm sure it doesn't matter." So Lonnie started calling him "I'm sure."
I can
Yeah.
go with that.
Yeah, just as a nickname, but Lonnie knows that's not his
Yeah.
name.
The thing is, he can use any other name
IMSHUR.
except Paradir,
Yeah.
because Paradir is now the name of the dragon.
Yeah, that's the dragon's name. The dragon's name is Prairie Dew.
Well, that's going to be confusing, but okay.
Yeah.
And so Drizzle has this writing all about in his book about Praedia, and he's going, I didn't know the dragon was travelling with us.
We'll work it
I
out.
do not envy the editing Drizzle requires.
Because he's got this writing that says all this stuff, and,
Yeah.
and Drizzle knows it refers to Jeremy's character, but he's not telling anyone else that. But if anyone reads his stuff, it'll be like the dragon was travelling with you, except the dragon did all this really weird, funky stuff, and now suddenly he's a human.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining Drizzle going back with like white owls and just.
Right.
No, he actually loves contradictions.
That's true.
Yeah.
Considering right up to that point, he introduced everyone to the gnome as if they're going to meet part of their ancestry. And when it got to Jeremy's character and his Praedia, who's never interacted with your family. Because everyone else was introduced as was going to meet one of that character's ancestors. Praedia was the only one introduced with no relation to anything of that gnome.
Right, yeah.
And so technically Praedia is not going to have anything to do with that gnomish family.
Exactly true.
It's 100% right.
And that was
Because-
actually done before he lost his name.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So like it just worked out.
So that's where my not planning turned perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I've had unfortunate slips of the tongue that have turned into truth.
Yeah.
Many a time in these games.
Yes.
That's funny.
Yeah, this is one of the things where constraints can aid creativity.
Yeah.
Because you've got a starting point.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the problem I had with the unicorn. I didn't have a starting point to work from. So
And it was the first time it had
would
introduced itself to you.
Yeah. Would a twig have done? No. But didn't I?
In most cases, dealing with gods is something that has either a meaning to you or a meaning to them. And it has to be a meaning. It's generally not a...
Yeah. But no, it's still sort of... would you like my favourite shoes? Do I have to promise you my firstborn? To the Fae, there's not a lot of difference.
Yeah, that's true. And the funny thing is, the moment you say, I'll give you my favourite shoes, it's like, you might say a couple months down the track, I really like these shoes, and suddenly they're gone. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
Because at that point you've got a perpetual deal. Your favourite shoes will always disappear on you.
Yeah.
I only wear shoes I hate. I don't hate those as much.
I think I'd love to be like a trickster elf who just
Yes.
goes around handing people out potatoes saying they're my firstborn seed.
Yeah. In Glorantha, that would be valid.
And there are
Because
perfect ways
elves
to
would
do
be.
that too. So by basically including those aspects in there, it made it an interesting story that now finally got them to the second Elven realm of the Sylvan realm. So this is the one that was created by Ilsandal while he was immortal, but lost.
Oh.
It's the equivalent of saying that there was this really big, probably close to us to referring to Atlantis. And it sounds mythological, but there's all these references to it in history.
Yeah.
But no one really knows where it is. So the Sylvan realm is the equivalent of Atlantis and Mystara to even the elves. The elves don't know where it is because it was such a messed up exit that no one wanted to know where it was.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes
Deliberately
sense,
forgot, and then now just nobody knows.
And now that it's important, it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fortunately,
it's
we
like,
had-
we need to know where that is.
Yeah.
And-
Fortunately, we've had help.
And they actually had, they left behind emergency means of getting there, but it required a certain level of character, not character level, but a certain force of personality as well as backing to get there. And that backing is certain gods have to be on your side, otherwise they would not allow you to do so. And that's how Praetor lost his name. Hey Jeremy.
How you going?
That's okay, we just explained how you lost your name.
Yeah, we really should change the name on the character up there to not Parody.
It's okay, we have a few ways of doing it. I'll just quickly edit it so we remember.
Yeah.
It just comes down to what Jeremy picks as another name for it.
Obviously, he's never needed a name because he's never had a name. So it's just always me, I.
Oh no, everyone needs a name. You just don't know what yours is. So
Which-
everyone in your family and everyone in your tribe has a name.
He has a child name, an adult name, and a sage name. He never actually taken on a sage name yet, so now he has to choose a sage name because he lost his adult name.
Yes.
He's misplaced it and doesn't know where he left it.
Yes. He even asked this dragon called Paradir, but he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Because Paradir now has always had the name Paradir.
And considering it was the first world, who knows what time frame in the first world it happens, because it could have happened at the start or the end of time and still have no difference for you.
Exactly.
And of course, what history is, what kind of deer were together at the time the dragon was born?
Yes.
For the dragon to be named Paradir.
Sigh.
Okay, so what they've also had happen with them is once they used the rainbow to find the Sylvan Realm, they ended up in a ruin, and they started exploring that ruin.
Okay.
Finding out that they need to find 12 keys to reach the Tree of Life. By the Tree of Life itself, even though they don't know exactly where the Tree of Life is.
Right. Okay.
And these keys all look like coins.
Oh.
So we're gonna sonic this up.
And so they started heading north, crossing a bridge, and then all these sound of wolves started coming towards them because they rolled a random encounter. For no particular reason. That these things happen.
So we have.
And so Dressel handed Llewell a box and said push button and then stepped away.
So now we're in a giant tower. I say giant. What was it? Like 3-story tower?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now we're in a 3-story tower as 12 dire wolves, 6 hellhounds, and 2 werewolves that are directing them come towards us to investigate this now tower that came out of nowhere.
Which has a symbol of Llewell's new house on the front and off its flag flying above it. Which means he's now technically invaded the second elven nation with a clan that was never there. So this is unfortunate when you happen to step over a few different lines doing things. So yes, you have managed to plant the flag of a clan in a nation that never had it.
Yes. And by creating one, ours.
We own this now.
Well, yeah, but hey, we created a country. Cool.
And now we know why the Elven King wanted to get rid of the potential usurper.
Exactly.
And so yes, you had the dire wolves and the hellhounds and the 2 large werewolves. So they weren't as big as the one you faced in the Earth that was not. But they are larger than normal werewolves you'll see. So normal werewolves are of a medium-sized creature. These ones are of large size.
Yeah.
So them scaling the tower is not out of possibility.
I was gonna say,
Well,
they could do it.
Yeah.
It'll take a little bit, but they could do it.
But I'm looking down from the top of the tower thinking, well, some extra wolf pelts will mean that I can get one of the wash occasions.
Okay, and you can hear them talking as they approach, as they are using I believe they're using a common tongue, the common tongue.
I believe they were, yeah.
Even though this is probably as
Sylvan.
far removed from that country as you can imagine,
Yeah.
that they're actually speaking the same language is
Odd.
bit of a head screw.
Hmm.
Because as far as you're concerned, there's no connection between this place and the place where you were.
Yes, they shouldn't be.
They should not be speaking this language here. If anything, Alphathian you could understand because they are so parasitic they invade everywhere.
Yes.
Because there's not one country that you know of that doesn't have an Alphathian embassy there,
Mhm.
if not having formerly been conquered by them.
Yes, and a lot of the ones have been conquered and then they've pulled out.
Have forced
Yeah.
them out.
Well, they've been pushed out. Yeah.
So
Of
Do
they're
you
course.
understand what they're saying at all?
Yes, they're basically, they were saying that there was this huge bell ringing out from the center of the nation in the ruins. They need to go in, they've been sent to investigate, and they need to get as close as they can before they're forced to stop and see if they can see what's there.
Mm.
And apparently the direwolves are understanding the conversation and are working with them, as are the hellhounds.
Mm.
So you hear the werewolves directing in common, the other ones to move in various search patterns heading in that direction.
Right.
And then they spot your tower.
Petitier's going to be lining up one of the werewolves. The big arrow.
And speak up anytime you want to break in. And then you hear them actually asking each other, was that there before?
Mm.
And the other one goes, I'm not really too sure. Let me think about that. No, I don't think that was really there. When first one thinks about it. Yeah, I'm sure that wasn't really there. I basically gave them intelligence checks, and they both, even with a penalty, managed to get high enough to go, yeah, I think there was something there. Yeah. And so they go, okay, let's try the door.
Okay. Well, just as they're about to try the door, thinking that they've stayed still long enough thinking about it, and it is going to let fly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
And she'll pull out scary werewolf stats.
Okay. Penalties never met a werewolf that wasn't appropriate to kill yet.
Oh gosh.
Well, sorry, I never met a werewolf that was appropriate to kill.
Yeah, the person formerly known as Brady.
Yeah.
Okay, so I shall get some initiative from people.
Yep.
We had
I had 5 initiative. Let's stop.
Ooh,
23 to me.
You said you roll.
It was a roll.
What
It
did
is
Title
a
get?
I got, if Title can read his stats properly, a 21.
21. And what did Llewell get?
14.
And Lani got a 7?
5.
5. Okay.
Sorry, 16. Sorry. Added the wrong number. Not that it matters much.
16. The Wolves got a fairly low score. The Dire Beasties get their own roll. And the Hell Beasties get their own roll. Apparently things like to roll high.
Apparently.
So, Jeremy, as you're getting ready to launch the arrow, you hear one of the wolves turn around and say, isn't Moorcroft putting up surveillance towers around? Maybe we should avoid this one. And because he got off the natural 20, you now get to choose whether or not you still go for your surprise attack.
He will.
Okay.
Maybe we should avoid that. Poke! Oh! Security system!
16, 18, 23.
AC 23, you do hit.
Well, it's the bad guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I've had to remember.
A total of 16 damage from a non-magical wooden arrow.
Okay. You see the arrow sink into its shoulder. You just look at it, pull it out, and the wound just seems to close over. He hands the arrow to the other guy and says, "Message for you, sir."
Pure wood arrows are for vampires.
and you can hear the other guy going, "I don't understand the message."
This is pretty sad. Wait, are they bringing coconuts as they're walking along?
And you can hear them arguing over the meaning of the message while you're sitting up on the tower.
I'm not going to interrupt.
I was going to say, that's my action, that's my turn, so I may do something before I act again.
Okay, so you actually get to act before anyone else because that was your surprise round.
Okay.
And you can hear the wolves below going, that's a strange message.
Did anyone else actually come up to the top of the tower with me? Or I think
yes,
the others came to that second level, didn't you?
You have a gnomish bomber. You have a title would have gone up as well, as did Lani. Drazzle decided to start writing about the effects of pushing the button.
I'm going to leave him to
Excuse me,
it.
sorry. Well, that's like, yeah, so no one actually stopped at the arrow slicks on the way up the tower.
No, everyone wanted to get a good vantage point from a high point.
Happy with that? So, well, in which case then, I will be saying, you go for the werewolf, I'll take out the others. And you'll take a shot at one of the direwolves.
So we're doing this.
Apparently. Just got back
AC 24.
AC 24 will hit. You're shooting at a hellhound?
There were scans that there were.
Oh yeah, the
big
dire
wolves,
wolves.
weren't there?
Yes, there were.
Yeah, he'll go for one of the big wolves. 5, 7, 10, 16, 20 points of non-magical damage or with arrow.
Okay.
Oh, damn it.
You forget something?
I forgot to give it the -5 to hit and therefore the +10 damage.
Okay,
That's right.
you see your arrow sink right into the dire wolf. It looks down at it and seems confused. And when you hear one of the other wolves go, "You got a message too."
Just the dire wolves because that was a stick. It's a toy now.
So it's actually the wolves are talking to each other, not just the werewolf. Is that
Yes, that is correct.
Oh wait,
Okay.
so the wolf talking. Ah.
The wolves were talking earlier.
Yeah.
I thought it was just the werewolves
The
talking.
wolves are asking the questions.
The wolves had been sounding more intelligent than the werewolves.
Yes, they just don't know the difference between a message stick and an arrow. And hey, dogs and sticks.
And apparently it's trying to pull the message out.
Well, unless of course it turns out the dire wolves are actually more werewolves.
That's also possible.
But yeah, so that is my action.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, keeping cover behind the crenellations of the tower.
And Tidal is up as you're hearing these thing about, hey, you got a message too.
So we're at the top of this tower trying to shoot things.
Well, he's shooting at the moment.
He shot at them.
He's fired twice.
Yes.
Apparently, he was going for the making sure it happened in duplicate.
Right. So now we have to climb back
how do you
down
get
the
the message
tower
through? You said it
just to
twice.
defend the tower.
No, we just
Well, that's
shoot
if
from
you
up
want to
here.
do melee.
Yeah, you guys can shoot. What am I going to do? Spit on them?
Yeah.
What are we?
Call their mother a
Yeah,
hamster and their
cute.
father smells of elderberries.
I guess Tidal
Drop darts
will
on their heads.
look around, probably find.
You're in the middle of an elven forest. On one side of the forest is
Oh, yeah,
currently winter, and the other side of the forest is spring.
And in the middle is a tower with us in it.
And you're
Well,
sitting.
remember that you don't need to be at the top of the tower. Because the whole point was the tower sprang up as a defensive position for us.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay.
Well, I'm heading down then.
Okay.
So,
Because, there's wind to the left of me and spring to the right, and I'm stuck in the middle of you. So
Yes.
I'm heading downstairs.
So you're going to grab one of their feet and pull it into a arrow slit and hold on.
so you could be down on the arrow six on one level.
I'll just head downstairs and I guess wait for them to come in the door if they know how to use doors to find out.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The
Next
thing is,
person.
these towers, once the door's closed, it's not opening again until the person who owns it opens it up.
Oh.
Which one of those?
So you can't open it from the inside.
You can't open it from the outside.
Oh, it's like a portcullis kind of thing?
It's like
No, it's just magically locked.
It's
Oh, okay.
like
This is
So I
a
can open
magical
the door,
defensive.
let one in and close the door and then beat them up.
You
You could.
certainly could.
It is it's an instant fortress.
Okay.
Yes.
Except of course if the thing you let in steps on the button, then you're all in trouble.
Where's the button?
And of course, the point is
right.
also that this is the
Over there,
first time we've seen it go up.
So it's on the ground floor in the centre of the room.
Yep.
that's what you said last time. Yeah.
So
So
we press that, we all die.
It comes.
no, it collapses and expels us.
Yeah.
Causing damage.
Yeah. So
Oh, okay.
But you don't know that yet.
No, I don't. No one's explained this to
that's
me.
a really
so-
stupid place to put the button. Smart place would be on the ceiling.
Alright, well, I guess I'm
Or on the back
holding
of the
the
door.
door for now until something comes
Normally,
in.
if you push the button and you walk out.
Yeah, because you've got time.
Yeah.
Yes. But it does mean, the thing is, it's stupid because you can't then use the bottom floor for defence.
I guess I'll
So,
hopefully hold the door open, prepare my action to close the door after something comes inside.
Well, you spend your action getting all the way down to the
Oh,
bottom
okay,
of the door.
it's the tall tower. Okay, cool.
yes.
There we go.
It's like 4 stories or something like
Oh,
that.
4 stories. Okay, yeah. Alright.
Yeah, you could put a pack or something on top of it so that if anyone stands on it, the button doesn't
You
actually
can
get
do like a
pushed.
table or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
And normally there'll be corals down here and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
And
yeah, because that's where the mounts are supposed to go.
Yeah.
And it's normally you can stand on the button, but unless you actually hit it with intent, nothing happens.
So.
Because it depends on how it was designed. It might only be activated by the person who activated it, which would suck if that person dies.
Yes.
So don't die.
I'll try not to. Yeah. Things like over the door, or next to the door actually, would be a better place to
The
put it.
funniest ones are the ones when they put them on the outside. It's like, I'd really like to not hit that button, please. But
Okay.
isn't that the doorbell?
You know.
That's, yes, that's the cursed version.
Never thought it would be more convenient.
No.
Oh,
the trick-
also
That'd be
more
amazing.
convenient, the door's the other way around. It's easy to open from the outside, but you can't open it from the inside.
Yeah. It's the instant prison.
It has its uses.
Okay,
Except they can climb up to the top and then climb down.
well, you're up.
I'm that fast? Wow.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's up. So
Oh, okay.
I'm not paying attention. I'm
okay.
distracted by my little
Use-
Nomi friend.
You are hearing the conversations outside. They are talking about how 2 messages got delivered. As you heard the bow fire twice.
Flunk, flunk. Message for
Okay.
yourself.
Thunk Thunk, as of Arrow in Flesh, they're not screaming, they're not even calling it in pain. I'm moderately sure a fight hasn't actually started yet, at least from their point of view. I'm going to hold.
Okay.
I'm going to wait my action until they go,
Okay.
and then find a window to shoot at them out of. I'm not going to worry about it yet.
You hear outside a more growly sort of voice going, check the door. If it's locked, move on.
Yeah.
And you hear that Title's near the door. He sees the door handle jiggle. And you go, no, it's locked, let's move on.
Not touching it.
And you start hearing them getting a bit further on. As also the werewolves in the distance are still debating the conceptual message being sent to them.
It's a very insightful message that they just need to really discuss.
Now they're trying to
figure
determine
out.
if the type of wood is the message being sent,
Ah.
or was it the
Is this dog
Yeah,
wood?
go Jeremy.
Was it the, so what creature actually went inside the door? Was it one of the wolves or one of the werewolves?
One of the hellhounds.
One of the hellhounds. Okay.
Did it try with its mouth?
Yep.
Nice.
And then it's getting nothing to look, move on.
Yeah.
Now we've got hellhound slobber on it.
It's gonna be spicy.
And you see them starting to move towards the center of town.
No licking the door.
I'm sure that won't work well for instructions for Dressel because he might just have to do it because you said so.
I know,
It
right?
he'd survive it. Nobody else would.
Tastes like magic.
Spicy magic.
Green sparkles on his tongue.
So yes, you also see the direwolves going along. One of them sort of it does seem to be bleeding a bit, but doesn't seem to be too worried about the fact that he has an arrow partially in him as the other one's pulled it out half.
Oh man.
He said, but he's saying my message. I got get the message. Go get your own message.
So they think the arrows are...
They're also not very smart. See what happens when you send out a patrol with an average IQ of 8.
And as they're getting a bit further away on their turn, you can also hear, if you want to get your own message, go ask the tower itself for its message. I'm sure it'll get you another one.
Does Parody want target practice?
We'd ask who sent the message, but we don't know their name.
Tie a couple of
That's right.
threads.
Neither is the messenger.
Tie a couple of threads about halfway up the arrow and then shoot him with it. Let's see how confused they get with that and think it's a message.
Well, I guess the real point is that they said that they were coming because they heard the bell of presumably our arrival. And they also said that Moorcroft was building sentry points
Yes.
throughout the land. The way they acted to the tower, to me, suggests that they thought that this was possibly one of Moorcroft's sentry points.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Which would imply that they're on the side of Moorcroft.
Yep.
Yes.
When we're supposed to meet, but are we supposed to meet on friendly terms, the destroyer of the second realm?
Well,
I guess that's the mystery.
Well, you could always meet the destroyer of the first realm instead. I'm sure that won't go down badly.
yeah. Any title that's got destroyer and realm in it is someone to avoid.
Well, but we're supposed to meet them
Or-
apparently, but
Or,
I
or,
assume that
or at least avoid violence.
when you described the instruction to meet Moorcroft, I got the impression that the intent was destroy, kill Moorcroft,
It's
if
possible.
and when we met him.
It's possible, but not necessary. Well, not
Well, also
necessarily.
presumably difficult to do if I would destroy the second realm as well.
It doesn't mean he's not killable.
I said difficult.
It implies it though.
So the question is, are we following them to try and eliminate them? Obviously my arrows have limited effect on them, but I'm sure that others have more suitable weaponry.
Yes.
Are we following them to try and take them out, or are we continuing in the northward direction?
I think
a
it's best to
group-
leave them alone because they're heading towards the way we already came from. So possibly we can move forward with the knowledge that they may be coming back towards us at some point.
They're also big enough that I don't think we could deal with them without casualties on our side. Was it 6 or 8 of them?
There are 6 direwolf size wolves moving that are talking. There are 2 in hybrid werewolf mode that are large creatures. And there are the hellhounds as well.
So, yeah, way too big a group for us to deal with.
They would be a major challenge for you.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, we can invite them all
But
in.
we can potentially pick them off with
Tell them if
skirmish
they want to
tactics.
deliver their message to go stand on the button at the same time and run. As the tower explodes with wolves and fur and...
Squeegees them through the windows.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
And then the next time you open it, why is the walls red?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Why does it smell like dog?
Title. Clean it up.
Hey, drapery is my thing, I don't know what this is.
Wolf skins draped on the wall. It's drapery. Clean it up.
So what does I'm sure wish to do?
Okay, well, if we're not going to try and eliminate the potential patrol and stop them reporting back to Moorcroft, assuming they work for him, then I would assume that we should continue northwards.
Yes. With our tower.
Okay, so you're just going to watch until they go out of sight?
Yeah, that's the only thing I really can think to do because I don't necessarily see them as a threat, and it's not very, I guess, respectful to fight somebody who doesn't understand that you're in a fight. So
Yes.
They might take offense if you told them they're not a threat.
yeah, so Lonnie wants to respect that, like, They just walked off.
Yeah.
Not a fight.
And yet, if they're minions of Morgoth, and we have to fight Morgoth, probably better to whittle his army.
It would be more sporting to
yes.
fight them then.
But facing a group that size, nah. Unless they're like half our level, which I very much doubt.
Presumably, the group will only get bigger if they report back on multiple or more four groups.
Yes, but if they report, we saw another sentry tower, no one's going to take any notice. If they'll take notice of the, someone shot us with some message arrows. That's going to get noticed.
We received 2
So-
messages.
Us not being here when they come back is the way to go right now.
Okay.
Well, good then.
So as you're talking, you see them reach the bridge because you put this up not far from the bridge.
Yeah.
And there seems to be some sort of barrier at the bridge.
Oh.
They don't seem to be able to cross get onto the bridge at all.
They did say they were going to be trying to get as close as they could, with the implication that they didn't expect to make it all the way.
Yes, and yeah. Which means if we want to leave without being seen, we're going to have to scarper right now.
Or we wait for them to go back.
Yeah. Well, if they go along the
Because
barrier,
we were like 100, 200
Feet
feet
from the...
from the bridge. Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
too far from it.
feet pretty close.
And you're on the winter side of the road.
Yeah.
And they were sticking to the road.
Yeah.
Mostly.
They were sticking to the road?
Mostly, yeah.
Oh, so the door opened.
That's interesting. What we learned on the road is if you stick on the road, creatures from one side can't cross over to another.
Oh, okay.
So it's interesting that these guys can go on the road.
Oh.
Well, that's further evidence that they're probably outsiders from the world.
Yeah.
Okay, so after they seem to spend some time pounding on an invisible barrier, that sort of thing, yeah.
Don't hear anything.
You just sort of see a bit of a flash where they're hitting.
Okay.
So you can actually see physical striking. Just that the barrier is not visible until they strike it.
Okay.
Then they start walking back past the tower. You can hear one of them saying, "Oh, I probably won't be here in the morning."
So, from what they know, sentry towers move.
As far as they're concerned, they have no idea where the towers are or where they're going to show up. Because they're sentry towers, they move.
Okay.
They're walking towers. They're the sentries
They're
themselves.
sentry towers.
They're not towers to put sentries on.
The sentry tower.
I like it. These guys think right.
Whether that's true or not remains to be seen. But that's as far as they know.
If we meet a sentry tower, I'll talk nice to it.
It might send you messages.
Maybe.
Hopefully not.
I'm not like
What was that message? I don't know. It was Birch.
Thok, thok, thok. 3 different trees. Okay, we have to work what this is.
Got dogwood. What's happening?
Yeah. The last one's a bit of a mess. It's balsa.
No! Where did they get bamboo?
Birch, oak, pine? Boop? Is this what it is?
Boop?
No, the
Something.
initial letters are in Elvish, so...
If they hit your nose, then yeah.
That's where the next one goes.
Well, certainly as you're approaching, Kennedy is still at the top there, prepared to send the third message.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't seem to be heading towards the tower. They just seem to be walking past it.
Spears.
Oh no, they're shouting.
Yes. Speaking in capitals only.
Ash, 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 ash. They're saying ah.
Dwarves could do the same thing with different metal hammerheads.
Yeah, true. too much fun.
Well, no one's actually told me
Well,
well I should or shouldn't be doing attacking these things, but I've been seeing someone think with arrows at it, so I guess I'll open the door.
while they're still there.
Yeah, well, I believe Martin said they're passing by.
They are passing by, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll open the door this time.
You open the door.
Say hi.
Okay, currently they're looking the other way, discussing the wooden messages they were receiving. Saying it's a little unclear what the message was about. They'll return back to camp and see if their boss can decipher it this time.
Sneak out. Hook their belts together with a piece of rope.
From the top of the tower, Martin,
Yep.
can I see any landmarks or features or possibly this camp that you're referring to?
You can't see anything in the distance, but it does go on for many miles.
I'm up top with Praetor. I whisper to him, we should probably keep track of where they go and possibly follow them to their camp.
You see them heading north, following the road.
Are they the ones that are passing? Oh crap! I was waiting for my turn.
You did. You open the door and look out, and they're talking as they're heading past.
Oh, I was going to throw a snowball at them. Oh.
Walk away from us.
Yeah, missed my opportunity to throw a snowball at them.
You can still throw a snowball at them.
Do it.
I missed it. It's okay.
No, you can still do it.
Hey, snowball in a wolf's backside will probably get its attention.
Yeah, probably. If I even hit the thing.
Try to do it.
Oh, come on. If you miss it, it'll go past it and it'll see it. That'll get
And they'll
what
still
you
just,
do.
they'll still just assume it's a message.
That's possibly true.
Looks like I missed this one. That's a. Assuming it's a dex.
Yeah.
Or
Snowball goes
Would it
past.
be
I think this
athletics
conversation is
or-
going
No,
That
on.
would be a dex.
They're cooling on the
Dex range.
different. Still 11.
So, an 11. Okay, so you see your snowball hit a tree right next to one of them. It sort of stops, looks around, doesn't really see anything, and then continues on.
Does it lick it?
Because apparently it stopped right on the other side of the tree you hit.
I tried. I failed miserably.
And then you just sort of see them casually walking down the road ahead of you going, we'll wonder if one of the other groups saw something.
I think I'll close the door and head back upstairs. I think.
Yes.
I'll proceed to tell he who shall not be named that snowballs don't work on these guys.
I noticed.
He who shall not be named or he who can't be named?
Both.
No, he can be named. Just that he might not accept the name.
Yes. Well, that's true. We've named him, but he hasn't said whatever. Yes.
Isn't it only officially if he accepts it?
So
Already
looking at the top of the tower, Martin,
Mm-hmm.
we can just see, is it like forest or something in all directions?
Forest in all directions, but a winter forest to the
For the side we're at
west
the moment.
and
Yep.
a spring forest to the east.
Well, I figure that we've probably got two options here now. We
Yes.
can continue to go north, following this party that is deemed to be too powerful to attack, or
Well,
is
they're
it
not
worth
too,
going in a different direction?
well, they're not too
North-
powerful to attack. They're probably too powerful to survive. Bit different.
North was picked as a random direction,
Yes.
just like everything else. We had to go and look at all four directions of the well. Is it worth going a different way first?
Do we have a compass?
We have a star.
We've got a star map.
We've got the star map, and I can tell direction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we know
So-
that we know north. The way the roads were set up in the town we first came in was very much cardinal direction. So
Okay.
everything is very much winter, spring, summer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so Paul, give me an insight check as you have your star map.
Mm-hmm. check star map right. Alright. That should go to 18. Let me double check. In Siget. Yes, 18.
Okay. So, you believe that you can follow the map to find, in winter, where the constellation of the nymph, the hydra, and the narwhal are in the forests.
Yep.
Because each of them seems to correspond to a part of the forest.
Right.
And that's referring to effectively each of those would be a key, is that the implication?
Yeah, I think there was like that symbol along with the hole of where the key is and the ground of the pedestal thing.
That is correct.
Yeah. Because on the star map, is effectively 3 constellations in each season?
In each season, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it is a season of water or winter.
I'm a narwhal instead of a Pisces.
So you said we crossed a bridge just outside of the ruined city.
Yep.
I'm assuming that means there's a river that we went past over?
There is a big river, and you could probably follow that river.
So which way does the river go?
The river goes west. It comes from the northeast and then heads west.
Okay.
Just going to grab myself a snack while you figure out what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would suggest that it's pointless following the band of possibly Warcock's men or creatures.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's as bad as trying to fight them.
So potentially we should try following the river with a pathway if you think the map will take us to some of the keys.
So the map is partially animated while you're looking at it. Cool.
So yeah, I guess wherever the map can take us to, whatever constellation is closest, I suppose.
Yes. Look at that, try it out, work out what we need to do and which direction to go in it.
Yeah.
Which would be apparently the closest.
Yes.
Just making sure I get the references right. It's one of those things where it keeps giving me different references for different things. Okay. You think it's about 30 mile to the first of the locations,
Which is?
which appears to be, that's what I'm trying to, the nymph.
Okay.
And that's 30 miles along the river.
Along the river.
Okay. Well, we may as well depart, I would expect.
Yep. Go straight away.
So, are there tracks or pathways under the trees in the forest, or is it overgrown in winter? Is it actually got snow everywhere?
Well, yeah.
It doesn't have snow, but it is a lot of winter flowering plants, which is not too common.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And has a cool sort of feel to it.
Okay.
So
So we'll aim to stick close to the river, if that makes going easier, but not too close that we're down in the actual underbrush around the river itself.
Yeah.
You seem to be able to keep the river in sight and still move fairly well.
Is the river flowing westward?
It is flowing westward.
Is it worth making a boat?
I don't know if depending on where this river ends up going, like, and where the other constellations are, we might only need to go this way west one time. And it's only 30 miles, which is...
And from Llewellyn's history
Day and a
of
half.
these
Yeah.
people, these are the people who first awoke the trees, this civilization.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, any time any of these memories come up, I'll relate them because it's important to what we're doing. Everyone should know this.
So,
Unfortunately, unless my rowboat is land through.
Yeah, Lonnie, I'm sure, could put together some kind of boat, but this not really seeing the worth in doing one.
I'm happy to lead the way and pick the most convenient path for those who are less attuned to the forest.
Yes.
Yep.
Seeing this is all rough going.
okay. As you travel through the forest, you notice that one of your companions has absolutely no trouble walking at all through the forest.
Mm-hmm.
Your blade singer.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Did you manage to reduce the tower and put it back in a box again easily enough?
Mm-hmm.
He when he went to push the button, he found out he had to actually do a few other things to make it activate.
Ah, so multi-step. Cool. Safer.
It's
Do you know
equal-
how long, how
Pain
often
just
you
going.
can activate that?
You think
from
once per long rest.
Yeah. Basically once a day.
But you can set how long it takes for it to compact.
Yeah.
So you can instant compact or
Or I can do it safely. Yeah.
the equivalent of turn for timer.
Yeah. Which is cool.
Which if you build anything like this, it's the sort of thing you want to have in there.
Mm.
Alright, so I guess we...
I'll
Walk
take
along.
note of what I discover.
And as you're following along this through the forests, you reach, as you're reaching sunset, which is basically the equivalent of 24 miles,
Yeah.
because you arrived about sunrise,
Yep.
you find yourself coming to the shore of a lake.
Mm-hmm.
Out in the lake, you see a man wearing black armor, desperately crying for help, as a snake-like creature made out of water is dragging him into the lake.
Okay. How far offshore is he?
Probably about 20 or 30 feet offshore,
Okay.
but he is getting dragged rather slowly out into the water.
Mm-hmm. Water. I think we've got someone who's good at that.
Just a little bit,
Yeah.
on occasion.
On a good day.
Mm-hmm. With no curtains.
Yes. There's no curtains out here.
So a snake-like creature? Okay.
But made out of water.
Yes. So it's some sort of elemental beastie.
How do I hit water?
You said it was about 30 feet out?
Lightning.
Yeah, it was about 30
Yeah,
feet
but
out.
then it might hurt him.
That's true.
But lightning.
I've-
So you stick in
Do the as long as you don't do chain lightning, it'll be fine.
stun baton.
I'm going to move up to the water's edge and toss the end of a rope out to the person, so that you can try and grab it and perhaps it can be pulled back in again.
Yes.
Okay. He apparently misses the rope.
Well, who?
I'm going to say, the rope almost, if I had put a loop on it, the rope would have gone around his neck. If I wanted 19 on the attack, I would have
Well, yeah. Well, he's got
I
armor.
will,
No, no.
okay.
He's got armor on. The gorget will protect his throat.
But apparently he missed it.
So what did you get for your roll, Jeremy?
Dexterity in would be a total of 23.
Okay, so
So it would have landed right next to it, but if you didn't manage to grab it and the rope drags away or something like that, you'll pull it back in again and try and throw again. So,
were you going to try to target the person this time, or just land it near him still?
well, basically, yeah, I'll be aiming to put it as close to him, like effectively, if I hit him, that makes it easy, but the intent is to put it where he can grab it, and ideally, but in fact, yeah, so if I'm confident that he should have grabbed it on that one, I'm going to pull it back in and take it around to try a lasso and actually put a loop in it to try and actually go around it next time. Make it easier to catch or go around it.
So
That's my actions.
So what's everyone else doing while the guy's being dragged away?
I can see, I'm sure, making an effort. I'm preparing a shot with my trident to hit like the water creature as soon as the guy is free from its grasp. So I'll ready that action, I guess. Yeah.
What does Tado wish to do?
Dive into the water.
Okay, you dive into the water.
I'm going to swim towards the creature.
Okay. And what would Llewell like to do?
Shoot the creature with the Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
Hopefully it'll knock it off him.
I'll give you an insight roll first.
Force effects on this thing aren't going to be useful. We'll see.
When you said it was a man, we're talking human.
Hard to tell with the full plate.
Okay.
Yep, 14.
14. So you're being led to a water sign constellation in this location, and you're about to attack
A water creature.
A water creature. I'll give you that to think on while I move on to other people.
Yes.
Because I did say that the nymph,
Yeah.
which is a water creature,
Yeah.
which generally drags men to their deaths, and
AKA everything I want to be in my life, yes.
and all the elves left this forest.
Yeah.
So it's obviously not an elf.
She is goals, yes.
So
as you dive into the water, Stefan, give me a perception check.
I actually will do something. I will call out. Who are you, and why have you been captured? If all I get is glub, well,
This
hey,
is
that's how it goes.
Percepticon.
Mm-hmm.
That's the little
19.
That's the little transformer that turns into a pair of binoculars.
Yes. Yes.
So as you're looking in there, you see someone who resembles your former lover
Oh shit. Pardon my French.
underwater, dragging down the person wearing blackened armor.
Oh, blackened because of the bad guys.
So I see someone who looks similar.
Yep.
Not enough to. Am I close enough to actually identify them? If they.
It's the same.
You are
It's the
close
same
enough.
type
It's
of creature.
the same species.
So
It's not the
definitely
same person.
species, but I know it's not the same person, so I'm not mistaken. Okay.
So you're not racist, that's good.
So I know what species
No.
they are.
They're
Knowing my
Undyne.
wife.
Yeah.
It's the second time you've encountered one. Who knows? You may have the same result.
Me. One was enough, thank you.
But you had fun.
And kids.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yes.
singular, I think.
Well, Drogon only told you about one.
Yes, you just said one, didn't mention the other 17.
Right. So in 300 years, someone's going to map all of these half-human, half-undine children.
They only have Undine children. They don't actually have halves.
Ah. Okay.
So anything that uses another race to reproduce produces their
Yeah.
own race.
Yes.
Especially if they're female.
Right, so all these Undine children tracked by reading Drazzle's books.
I'm gonna end up somewhere in this weird family tree on a wall of just my kids. That's like, oh no.
Especially when you time travel.
No. Thanks,
Yes.
Razzle.
So your child could also be your descendant. as well as your ancestor.
That's 2 jazzle. Alright.
We can do that for him, sure.
Right. So I assume
So he's going to be his own grandpa.
Were your parents here?
Hmm?
Are your parents here?
No, you're
Genasi.
Genasi. Yeah, they're both water Genasi.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
technically, the Genasi can have any Genasi offspring,
Okay.
and the Genasi can change
The-
what their elemental affiliation is.
Right.
Yeah,
I
there's a random roll when you have a child with a Genasi
Yeah.
on whether it's a Genasi child and which element it is.
And every
Yeah.
race has a percentage chance of putting out a Genasi in place
Yeah.
of their normal child.
Yeah, that's what I was
because everyone has
remembering.
elemental affiliation.
Yeah.
Because some god decided it would be funny to blend them.
Everyone then has to deal with it.
So I think they speak primordial, is that correct?
I believe so.
Cool.
As well as Aquan
Aquan.
Yeah.
and Sylvan.
I don't think I speak Aquan.
You should speak Aquan
You-
as well.
Oh, should
Yeah,
I?
that's a
It's a
that's a
Genasi
racial
thing.
one.
Okay.
So Aquan is a
Water
equivalent
Genasi.
of a sub-dialect of primordial.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's just all blurbs.
Oh, it's a sub-dialect. Okay.
Yeah, it's a sub-dialect
Let
of.
me put that in brackets then.
Yeah, it just has globes instead of
Yeah,
blurbs.
it's basically it's water
So-
Genasi language.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, I will ask them in Aquan.
Her.
Sorry, her in
They're all
Aquan.
female.
Do you do it?
If she knows of insert wife's name here.
Okay. So that's what you ask. And then what we've got, Lani was...
Yeah, I was ready. Is he let loose?
Well, he's in the water and he seems to be busy.
I can
There's
breathe
no
in the water.
fighting.
I'm good.
There's no real disturbances in the water.
I'll
Yeah, at least.
continue to watch it and also probably change weapons. Now that I have a party member underwater, I'm
Worst
gonna
comes to worst, I can just use,
I'll throw the area
shape
effect
water
a
cantrip
lightning
and
bolt.
hold them still.
I'm gonna change weapons to my. I have a sunblade, don't I? Yeah. I'm gonna change my sunblade.
And then a lightning bolt.
Yeah.
Okay, and you hear glurb, splutter, cough from the helmeted person.
Oh, that's what I heard them?
From the helmeted person. The guy in armor.
Well, I did ask him a question. He's apparently trying to answer and failing.
Oh, right. Sorry, I'm confusing people here. Yep, okay.
Yeah. Helmet guy.
Helmet guy, yep.
If there is a guy.
As it sort of looks as if the Undyne has basically shoved her face down his throat.
I'm not. That's how they drown you.
Because technically they can turn their bodies into water.
Right, yeah.
Here, have a drink.
Yeah.
Punch you in the throat.
And
Talk
then
about
they
her being
manifest
a tall
themselves
drink of
inside you.
water.
Wow, what a gruesome way to go.
Because technically if she wanted she could manifest her claws inside him.
No, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Yes.
She controls her water. Okay. So, Jeremy, you finally finished your lasso. The guy has
Yep.
been dragged out about 40 feet. Llewell can now point out things if he wishes to because he's had some deep thoughts. Especially considering his map is highlighted that you're at the location of the nymph.
Yes. Don't attack any water creatures in this location. Just see if you can grab the guy in the armor.
That cool period. That cool I've been trying to do.
Yep. So no change in plan. Right.
He didn't roll so well on his attack this time.
What did he get this time?
Yeah, just checking where my there it is. Plus 4, 12 total.
Okay. You missed the target, but you also notice the lasso seem to slide onto the person and go around their neck
So.
and pull taunt.
Okay.
So.
But he's wearing heavy armour, so he's almost certainly got neck protection. So
Yes.
I'm sure he just as soon haven't stopped to.
Well, you watched it slide up and under the helmet.
She's helping. Well, tell him to grab the rope and then pull.
Well, yeah. So I will actually just keep tension on the rope
Mm-hmm.
to try and avoid him being pulled further away, but I won't actually try and pull him in. Not that I could actually pull much anyway. Until he's got hold of the rope, it could potentially take pressure off his neck.
Okay, and
But it's okay. But I do accept that it's possibly tight around his neck anyway.
and Stefan, look, Tidal hears response underwater from the Erdine. Goes, "Oh, you know my sister."
No, she's in. If I understand correctly, she's in the process of currently killing somebody else.
Yep.
And this person is Helmet Dude.
Yep. Fully plate armored dude.
Right. How the hell are we gonna stop this? Okay.
You can always join in.
What?
Apparently, Stefan, not Stefan. Person formerly known as Pradier is helping. You see the lasso go tight around the guy's throat, and you see her hands basically maneuver it under the armor, and then pull it tight.
Right. So she's not actually killing him. She's just moving the rope to then kill him.
Well, two ways of killing him.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So drowning and strangulation at the same time. How can you go wrong?
Yeah. What way to go?
Or allowing for the fact that if we were to pull him free of her clutches, it probably won't save him.
All she has to do is hang onto the legs and make a wish.
That's right. But that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not strong enough to really do much taking anyway, so all I'm doing is maintaining tension and trying to stop him going further
Yeah.
out.
Tension on his spine.
The Lani is extremely strong. I'm sure Lani can hold.
Excellent, I'm sure.
Yeah. Just spear him to make sure he's done with.
Just like pull him back, it's fine. Just you end up with the head
With
over
a very-
here, body over here, and it's all drowned.
He doesn't have any more swimming problems.
All right. I guess I will swim up to the surface as quick as I can
Yeah.
and try and yell at
Everybody.
Voldemort that stop, you're breaking his neck. Oh, in common, mind you. I will remember to
I was
swap
gonna
over.
say.
I was like, what did you say?
I'm just stopping him being dragged out further.
Sorry, what was that?
I'm just stopping him being dragged out further.
Yes, by breaking his neck. Just stop.
As you watch Russell come up to help the person formerly known as Ray.
I'll allow the rope to be at least slipped through my fingers at least until I get to the end of 50 feet, which probably doesn't take very long. So
Sword design.
I'm not actually letting go yet.
Okay, that's
Well,
fine.
you are close to the end of the rope because he was 40 feet out, and you
Yeah,
did.
that's okay.
So you go about 45 feet before you run out of rope.
Yep, I'm not actually letting go yet, but I'm allowing a bit more slack.
Alright, can I dive back under and try and I guess give the rope a bit of slack if possible. I don't want to pull.
So if you do, you'll be pulling Jeremy in.
Oh,
That's the only way to give the rope slack.
right, never mind then. I'll just follow the rope and ask her. I'll just tell her, look, I don't know what your reasons are for killing this man, but if we can talk to him first, then you can have him after. I have to roll persuasion because my persuasion's crap.
Okay, near roll persuasion.
Watch this bird.
Oh wait!
Oh, now I roll.
Oh, you're
well.
underwater, aren't
Yep.
you?
Yes, it's a.
I understand, Aquin. That's
And you hear it echo out of the water with the
Yeah.
bubbles.
So it would be 19 again.
Okay, she says, with the promise of your daughter's name, she drops. She will release you to ask release him to your custody to ask questions, then drown him.
Wait,
With your
so
assistance.
If she gets to kill him, I get my daughter's name.
No, she actually says using under you promising with your daughter's name, an oath on using your daughter's name. She will release him to you, and then you will assist in drowning him after you're finished talking to him.
Oh. I can't. As a player, I can't make that decision. I need to willpower this shit.
Are you actually? Is this actually a deal to give up your daughter's name? So she has
Well, no,
to
it means they know my daughter. So
He basically is making an oath using
Yeah.
putting his
Like, yeah.
this might be a chance
Yes.
for me to find my daughter and my wife again. But at the cost of a man's life.
It's sort of the, I swear on the grave of my mother.
Yeah, I swear my daughter's life. Which is called Little Pool, by the way.
But hey,
Aw.
you never met your daughter anyway.
Not yet. Apparently I have twice, according to Drazzle, in XYZ time zone. You know. So, go figure. Oh no. Oh no. Okay.
natural one.
No, but it's pretty low. That's a... I think a 5.
This is a great way to get in with the
Resist the
Undying
temptation.
great way to get in with the Undying community by helping them drown a man.
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
It's one of their favourite pastimes, you heard.
Oh no.
Well,
First game back and I kill somebody.
It might happen that after you talk to the guy you want to drown him,
Possibly.
so it might not be a bad thing overall.
So I'll
Yeah,
just blame it
but-
on you.
but the
He is
assumption
a
is
dude.
being made beforehand. That's the point.
Alright, I will agree. I will promise on Little Pool's name that after talking to him, you may drown him.
Not that you will assist in drowning him.
Oh, I have to assist him?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That was the only way she was going to let him out.
Yeah, you got to help, not do it.
I feel like I need like a corruption token now. Okay.
It's purely in their culture.
Yep. I'm sure my wife told me about this sort of thing and I should have known better, but there you go.
Oh no, you only had one night with her, remember?
Yeah.
You haven't
Yeah,
you haven't
that's
married
right.
her yet, even though you're supposedly married in the future.
Yeah, that's right. It's yeah. I'm aware of her culture, which I do not know of her culture.
You haven't learnt all the aspects of it.
Yes, I am now.
I'm sure there are a lot of finer
This is
points.
how I learn, the bad way.
It can get worse.
I'm sure it can.
Okay, so you see the body, the person in armor dumped out on the lake with Tidal standing beside him as he's on his back.
Alright.
The rope's still firmly attached to his throat.
I'll aim to move forward and relieve the pressure on the rope as I crawl back up again.
Yes.
You
And I'll
hear a
get-
lot of spluttering and groaning coming from under the helmet.
I'll take the helmet off and check the guy out. See if he's okay.
Okay. As you pull the helmet off, you see a orcish face underneath. With this one has black highlights.
Okay. Who are you and why are you here?
He says, "I'm a servant of Moorcroft, aren't we all? None who walk these woods serve anyone else."
What's Moorcroft after?
Doesn't matter. He's the god.
What is the person we're against currently?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Who's to say what a god wants?
Ask them.
Does it
Works
occur
for
to you,
me.
has anyone told this to Tidal
What?
during this whole thing?
Not a lot.
Yeah, Title was there when we got all the backwards and storyline.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
you were there for the Moorcroft.
Alright, cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Which, from... He's kind of like Ilsander in that he was an elf? Or...
He
He
was
an
an
elven immortal.
Moorcroft was never elven.
I was going to say, I couldn't even tell.
This is the first time you've heard him referenced as a god.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's weird that he's being referenced as a god. I remember him being important and that he was a destroyer of a realm, but not being revered as god.
Okay, he was obviously powerful.
Yeah. So he has taken over as a god of this, quote unquote, god of this realm, or at least to his
Okay.
followers, he is god of this
they're
realm.
accepting him as a god, whether he is or not.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes that might be a way to get back on the road.
That is, from what I've read, that is often a way to do it.
So where is Morkoff now?
Everywhere, he says. Overlooking the whole forest. This is his realm.
Tyler looks under a rock.
And what were you doing here?
I got knocked off my wyvern by a bunch of unruly griffins.
You expect griffins to be ruly?
Well, I was trying to kill them at the time.
Well, exactly. So
Who really understands griffins? They just walk and attack you. They're foul, chaotic beasts.
They make really good riding mounts and like a scratch behind the ear. So
Were
you're
you travelling alone?
I was travelling with my flatmate and my wyvern. You're never alone when you're with a wyvern. Have you ever ridden a wyvern before?
No, but I've worn a wyvern.
And your flight mate and the wyvern did not come back for you?
I don't know. I landed near the lake here, and next thing I know, I'm being dragged into the lake. It took her over an hour to drag me into the lake.
Okay. She's not very strong, obviously.
He wasn't that
I'll
close to the
have
lake.
a side word to
Fair
Title
enough.
and
Yes.
suggest that potentially he go back under the water and
Yeah, he
talk
landed
to
2
the
miles away.
and Undine
Yes.
and
No,
get her side of the story.
no,
No need.
not doing it. I'm talking to this guy, we're questioning him, and he's going back in the water.
Okay, do you have any questions for him? Does anyone else have any questions for him?
Is there a reason that the Undine specifically wants to kill him? Aside from the fact you can all
It's
Pretty
on
good reason.
Tuesday.
And he's a follower of the bad guy.
That too. What he said.
But Morkroft is the god of everyone. Of everything. He's the one true god.
I say if
It doesn't work.
I wanted to become closer to Moorcroft, how may I worship him?
Slay the non-believers.
If everybody here is a believer, then how do we slay the non-believers?
He's not a believer, he says. He points out. Oh, well.
I'm
Oh,
a
I
believer.
Then he Morkroft.
That's true. But I'm
See, look at non-believer.
I'm a believer.
Shun the non-believer. Shun.
Yeah, except he's gone stab the non-believer. Stab.
were you and your wig mates far from camp?
Oh, only about an hour's or two's flight from camp.
So a bloody long way.
How can we?
Which direction would that be?
Yeah, which direction? Do
On the northern forest edge.
Okay.
Northern Forest Edge. Okay.
All the camps protect the outskirts of Morkroft's realm.
Lonnie doesn't have any other questions,
Protect
so
the
she'll
what?
take a stance to kind of overhearing the Aquin. She kind of like takes a stance, not really sure what to do, but like between so that he's between her and the edge of the water, and just watches Tile to see like what she should do.
Grab him by the legs and drag him into the water.
And so he turns to Jeremy and says, well, to protect from the corrupt elves, of course, who try to poison everything and turn them into plants.
That's not a plan I've ever heard of.
Did this land not belong to the elves originally?
Nothing ever belonged to the elves. They are a pestilent species created by the gods. The foul gods, mind you, not the good god of Morkroft. They live longer than most because they're evil and corrupt.
And
That doesn't work.
before you fell off your wyvern, did
Pete,
you
my
see any
ribbon I
evidence?
called Pete.
Sorry?
Pig.
My ribbon I called Pig will do. Pig.
Actually, more suitable than pig.
Before you fell off Pig,
With it.
Yeah.
did you see any other unbelievers? Did you meet any unbelievers?
Well, you're the first unbeliever. Well, he's the first unbeliever I've met because he looks like one of those pesky elf things I'm supposed to kill.
Is the Undine, is that watching us from the water or anything like that at this stage? Apparently, or is the water level nice and still at the moment?
It's very still at the moment, even though you can see it goes in this lake all the way out to the ocean. But
Okay,
there's more of a swamp beyond it.
There's no snakehead, a bit of water snakehead poking out of the water at the moment.
No. But you do have a feeling of being watched.
Well, yes,
Well, we've been feeling like we've been watched ever since we arrived here.
that's true. Well, for good reason.
I again just hold and wait for Tidal to make a move, and I'll kind of like just like nod at him, just like
What does Tidal wish to do?
Any questions first?
that's it.
Does Jeremy's character have any questions? It's hard to say.
Not radio.
He who should be named. Does he have a any more questions?
So what is your name, sir?
My name is Poke.
Poke. Poke Riding Pig.
Yep.
And your wingmate's name?
I never actually asked him.
So good mate then.
Of course, great mates. I let him go and fight the griffins first.
I think I understand exactly why they failed to return when you fell off pig.
Well, they managed to get away from the griffins and then left me to deal with them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course.
Are there
It's,
many griffins in the area?
Orcish nature. If you're not strong enough.
I'm sure there are, but I don't know what happened to them after I fell off.
Where did you find
Your
griffins?
name for starting fights.
In the air.
What's your name?
They were flying.
While they're talking, I'm going to sit down and meditate next to the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask a side question to Paul.
Yeah.
I don't suppose there's a griffin constellation, is there?
I checked the map just in case. Well, I should know the
And a wheel or
Yes, there is.
constellation?
Yep.
There is a griffin constellation, there is a chimera constellation, there is a warrior constellation. It's a constellation of justice, of the worm, the house, the eagle, the centaur, and the manticore. Besides the narwhal, the nymph, and the hydra.
But not a wyvern.
Not a wyvern and not orc.
No
No.
orcs.
So
And
this guy's trespassing.
so title,
Mm-hmm.
did the lady of the lake have anything to say in the matter?
Your sister-in-law?
It was mostly that he deserved to die, according to her,
Mm-hmm.
and other stuff like that. Oh, and I might find out about my family if he maybe falls back into the lake somehow.
Just somehow. Just gets nudged
Yeah.
in there accidentally.
Why do you ask?
Well, I would suggest that potentially Poke here, Poke, since you do not have your pig to get home again, you probably don't want to have to walk in all that heavy armour, do you?
No, but I hear heavy.
You'd probably find it worthwhile to remove the heavy armour.
He says, arm has been welded on.
Oh.
Wow. Wow.
That might make it dangerous to fly over the lake on Poke then.
Well, I'm a wyvern rider. Wyvern riders all have danger in our blood, he says with pride.
Well, at least he'll be.
So he won't mind being dragged into the lake by tidal.
Apparently not. He's happy about it.
Well, there you go. Can we think of anything more to get information to get out of him?
Well, that's why I'm asking for last rounds. Right.
Yeah.
The business. Okay, well, I have a terrible idea, and Martin can either tell me no or whatever, but I'm willing to spend all my 7 key points to combine a flurry of blows and a step of the wind to make like a kick of the wind thing and smack him into the middle of the lake.
You're trying to like
So
300 Spartan kick him into the lake?
Yeah, like, forward, little pool, and just go kick him into the lake.
So you get this body spinning
I'll
through the air.
remove. I'll actually remove the noose. I mean the rope from around the neck before he actually.
Well, yeah, you want to
Yes,
keep that.
that would be a good idea, hey.
You wanna keep it. Well, you did say you were taking it off.
Yes.
I said I was loosening it.
Well, that's true.
So you managed to untangle it from his arm.
Yeah.
He doesn't actually have any protection around his neck, so you could quite easily have yanked it around his neck previously yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid armor.
But,
Is
well,
it-
And they welded it on, so it's stupid anyway.
Yeah.
Does the armor have any particularly distinguishing features or anything like that?
it seems to be blackened because they literally pressed it onto him while it was still hot,
Oh,
and then welded it.
poor thing.
Sounds very little guy.
And around here, it's probably distinctive for not being elven made.
Yeah. It doesn't look particularly well made, but it does look rather sturdy, and it does have dents in it from what appears to have been a heavy collision of some sort.
Possibly with a tree.
And probably some scrapes from claw marks from griffins by the sound of it.
I can see it doing a really good job as once it's prepared, a nice little fish hotel on the bottom of the lake. Prepared, of course, in this case, is the fish eat him.
Dinner is served. Splash.
Yeah.
So, yes. Potentially, title, you could have asked the Undine as to about the key before you kicked it in.
I can still ask her, like, I've got more questions to ask her while she's busy,
Drowning him.
drowning him.
Yes.
Ah, so you didn't want to talk to her until she had something else to be occupied, is that right?
That too.
Right.
Plus, it should hopefully be in better graces with me once I've supplied her with her end of the deal.
Okay, so you kick him into the water.
Yep.
You notice that his head has been suspended above the water, but the rest of him's underneath.
Wait, did I remove his head from his body?
No, his body's still there.
Is it the water's at this level?
Oh, okay, yep, okay.
You can remember part of the deal.
Next up, I believe
You've
Mr.
got to
wants
push
you to
your
swim
sister
out and do the
You
pushing.
Oh, what? So if you,
You have to
okay,
help.
I have to. Oh, okay. I guess I'll swim over there and push his head under.
Okay.
Manipulate water.
So
it
you
fills
see
itself.
bubbles start to come up. Time passes. And Tidal returns after about 2 odd hours.
Wow.
2 hours. Jeez,
Oh.
how long does
It's
it take
very
this
hard
guy
to
die?
drown.
Not very long.
Yeah. Oh, I was talking to right. Okay, yep, gotcha.
Yes.
Or possibly the Undine was just blowing just a little bit of oxygen into his lungs every few minutes.
Keeping it alive for as long as
Yeah,
Just
possible.
to keep him alive.
Yeah.
I mean, it would give her something to do while we're having conversations, so I can't blame her really.
No, she had other things to do while we were having conversations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very much like her sister.
Yeah, I was going to say, so,
Oh, is this where she
so,
goes?
so your,
Oh, your
your
daughter
daughter's got a
needs
few
some
cousins.
Oh shit.
Sister keys.
They share a lot of similarities.
Yes. Your daughter needs a cousin.
Now I'm uncertain if I help drown someone or sleep with another Undine.
Yes.
I'm very confused.
Oh, both.
You did both. It was foreplay. The drowning was foreplay. Literally. That's why she wanted assistance.
Don't tell this to
Anyone else?
anyone else, including Drazzle. But he already knows it doesn't matter.
Look at it this way, your future wife may actually think of it as a fantastic thing that happened.
If we know about the culture, yeah.
After the first few minutes,
I
I'll
felt
check
horrible.
with the others. Tidal can't drown, can he?
Dressel says,
God, I hope not.
no, still got things to do.
You can't in water.
Exactly. Just hoping this is the same water as usual water.
Yes. What are you drowning in? Diesel. Shit!
Yeah.
Someone put him in flaming oil. I was like, what? And then they lit it.
That's really bad.
Okay, so yes, when you finally stagger out of the water,
No.
Clothes all over the place.
Okay.
You were really wishing you didn't waste all 7 key points on that first kick. You could use a few later on.
I actually would hope that he'd put his clothes on properly, because otherwise we're absolutely going to know what's happened.
Oh, he's that exhausted he just, staggers out.
Oh dear.
And I, like, it wasn't awkward, but like, it echoes through the water. So, I got the gist of it.
I think you would.
I will start making a camp and a campfire and things like that
Just like the little.
on the
Get ahead
just off the shore of the lake, like
Yeah.
20, 30 feet into the lake.
Yep, Drizzle has set up a couple of tents there.
Thank you, Drizzle.
Because it seems we're going to be here a bit longer, and obviously we're arriving just on sunset, so assuming we're not marching in the dark.
And he puts out a stone that turns into a campfire.
God, that is the weirdest sentence I've ever written about my character in a long time. Tyler slept with his wife's sister after drowning an orc.
While drowning an orc. Not
Wow.
after.
While drowning an orc. This is even worse.
Yeah.
I said it was foreplay.
So what I'm hearing is that Tyler had a threesome?
No.
I mean-
The orc was not a participant.
Sounded like he was involved.
He was a material. He was a material component.
So yes, when you do come back, you're able to tell them that she considered the black armored guy a agent of evil.
Mm-hmm.
Valid.
And that she believes the narwhal has stolen her key, the nymph key, which she was holding for the elves.
Right.
But the elves have been gone for a while.
Autocorrect, sorry. Narwhal has stolen the pimp key.
The pimp key. Okay.
It's a fucking narwhal.
So she ended up stealing the narwhal's key in return.
Oh.
So they just swapped keys essentially.
Yes, but she's not going to give up the narwhal's kill until she gets her key back.
So
But we need her key too.
Yeah, we go and talk to the narwhal, bring it back, and say, "Can we borrow your key? We need it for a thing."
Yeah, here's your key back. Can we have it? Thank you.
Exactly.
And says that you can find the narwhal by following the coast, where the other river exits the sea.
Okay. I check the map.
And that is along that line, but in between is the Hydra on the coast.
Oh, how exciting!
But she does show the narwhal key to Tidal, who it does represent the symbol that was in the ground. So she does actually have the key.
No.
So at the very least, we've got a very good understanding of what to expect from the keys now, what we're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
We thought we knew what we were looking for, but they haven't got proof.
Yes.
And it took 2 hours to get that information?
Why is it every time I need to escape from some weird realm, I have to sleep with someone?
Drizzle says, literally he says, Drizzle says, it's because law of realms.
I'm just not even going to ask him to accept it as fact. Like, if Drizzle says it's gospel, it's fine.
So we get to tick off each element he sleeps with as it goes.
Oh, only water.
Only water.
He sleeps with only water.
Oh.
How did I have a type?
Apparently.
Yeah.
And apparently, same family.
Yeah, true.
Well,
Tyler
to be
doesn't know
fair,
what's
to be fair, 2's probably only coincidence. It's not actually a pattern yet.
Or he says that it has happened already.
What, in Freezer Party?
But he hasn't done it yet, but he's already done it.
He hasn't done it in his own timeline, but yeah.
He's recorded it in 7.
Yes. 3 generations so far.
He almost did it in another world.
Yeah, yeah.
He missed that one though.
I'll find some different dimension just full of my offspring. So what have I done?
Joshua would like to see that. It would be interesting. You see him start making side notes in his journal.
It's funny.
It would also be interesting if, yes, all the same family, but not all undings.
You know, if the yeah, I guess if
So-
water is the same factor, then
Yes.
oh no.
So where were you last night? I was in a whirlpool.
Is that what they call the underwater club these days?
Well, it puts completely context to Wet Dream.
I wasn't going to say that.
Oh goodness.
But you do feel like you've run a marathon.
I swam the marathon.
Yes.
So you were given plenty of nice, tasty food from Drowsel's cookfire.
Not Drazzle,
Okay.
just the cook fire. She's got hand stuff to you.
No.
Fire elementals. What fun?
Well, he just tosses thing on it.
Yes.
He doesn't worry about how... He says you'll take it off when you're hungry. Otherwise it burn up and you don't get it.
That's why everyone pays attention when Drazzle cooks, because you don't get anything if you don't.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you want it rare, get quick. Want it well done, wait. Don't want it burn up, go away. Or return to nature.
See? There you go.
Yeah, like your caravan. Now we know where he got his cooking from.
Yes, the caravan's been making it up.
It's just a giant cooking pot.
With a time machine in it.
Drazzle's pressure cooking.
Oh, God.
See his next book.
Pressure cooking.
Cooking with tides.
I like it. It's like my spin-off cooking show.
I like this.
Hmm.
Okay,
Just
so
with tides.
I aim to stay on the edges of the firelight and watching out into the forest and the lake for that matter.
Okay, so the night is rather peaceful. You don't hear the normal animal sounds.
Mm-hmm.
You do hear quite a lot of strange animal sounds, but not the normal animal sounds. But none of them seem to be threatening or coming towards you.
Are any of the sounds similar to the ones the wolf things made?
None similar to that. But it does feel rather relaxed and quiet here. Maybe because, well, there is an Undyne here and probably Griffin somewhere nearby.
So everyone else is going to be real quiet. Yes.
Are these train griffins or wild?
I'd say they're wild. Just a guess.
I don't think Cassis would be very pleased if I tried to take
Well, they
them.
might be wild by now.
Mm.
Pretty sure Cassis said you have to rear them from when they're young.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's one of the
Kinda
reasons
like-
why Griffin eggs cost a lot.
Although
of
it
money.
would make a good story to tell Cassis on the way back.
That's true.
I would say probably akin to the Mustangs in the Americas, because America had their own horse and then it died during the Ice Age, and then horses were
no.
reintroduced during colonization.
Yeah, the last of the American horses were actually eaten as the Ice Age was ending.
Exactly.
They're found treated bones.
So now there's a
So-
whole herd of wild Mustangs going through the Americas that are actually killing native populations because they're considered an invasive species now.
Just
Yes,
like
and
they
they're
do
acting as
in
invasive
the
species.
outback in Australia, as do the camels.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because we have wild camel herds and wild brumbies.
Yep.
And Iranian and UAE camel racers come and get camels from Australia because we've got the only wild population left.
Yeah.
They don't have any wild ones left.
Pretty crazy to think about. That's cool.
It'd be really nice if they got all of our camels and took them back to bloody UAE.
Well, they don't want to because then there'll be no wild camels anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, no, you take them back to UAE and then release them.
They can't.
They don't have a conversation. They don't have a conservation effort.
Free space and protection.
No, that's their problem. They can fix that.
Because people are too happy to take a wild camel and tame it.
Yep.
Because that's a free meal or free money.
Yep.
Okay, so yes, you spend the night rather pleasantly, for the first time in a while, out in the wilderness without worries or cares.
Okay, we're done.
And it's the sound of Tidal snoring happily away.
Mm.
Nice snores. So there you go. Tidal snores.
What's a gurgling snore?
Normally only after he's overexerted.
Oh.
Yeah, when he's
We're
really
real
tired.
tired.
And when morning comes around, you find that there are a couple of fish on the beach for you.
Oh, nice. Go ahead and...
I'll start sizzling them up early rising. So
Before Drazzle does.
Yeah, I'll assist, I'm sure, with that.
Yeah, Dressel never minds helping with cooking.
Yeah.
His way.
That's why we all insist to cook first, doesn't it? It's that awkward moment you all look at each other. Wait, weren't you supposed to cook? I thought you were supposed to...
No!
But you always have such pleasant dreams to the smell of the missed meal getting burnt away.
It's become a delicacy now.
So Tidal, I don't suppose your paramour gave you an indication of the land around here?
No, just the whole thing about the key and how the Narwhal stole their key and vice versa, and how they, kind of want it back.
And we want to follow the coast around to the Narwhal, but on the way we'll beat the Hydra. Is that the situation?
Yes, let's go with that. It was a very long conversation.
Did she say anything specifically about the Hydra? Like, are they intelligent?
It's one of the constellations.
Yeah, but whoever the protector of the Hydra key.
True.
Are they intelligent being? Are they does she not want us to fight them? Is it okay to fight them? Like essentially that.
Hydra key is the Magro. Was it Magro? No. Guy who has the Hydra key.
She didn't mention the Hydra key.
That's right. She mentioned. So yes.
Oh yeah, that's right. She didn't mention it.
Yeah.
Okay.
She mentioned the
Narwhal key.
The Narwhal.
The Narwhal key and the Nymph key.
Yeah, she normally has the Nymph key, but she believed the Narwhal stole it, so she stole the Narwhal's key.
So they were swapped, technically.
Yep.
And then the conversation just went elsewhere, so...
And something about she wants an apology from the Narwhal before she'll give the Narwhal's key back.
Oh, that's right. I remember that apology.
Apparently they've known each other for over 1,000 years or more.
Well, I guess we will start out along the coast then, looking out for Hydras, apparently. And also people in black suits.
Oh, crap.
What?
I meant to ask her in that conversation, if I even had time, if she knew anything about where my sister her sister and my daughter might be.
Probably with her other daughter.
Wait, other daughter?
Yes, it's the one you had about 200 years ago with her.
I told you what Drazo was talking about with this.
See if
Your future, our past, her past.
Okay.
so.
That explains why I didn't... Yep, okay, cool.
Sounds like you
Yep.
have 2 daughters.
Apparently 2 daughters. Question mark.
With this mother. Yes.
Do I know said daughters 200 previously, now, then, future, past, present tense?
What?
Name?
Sure, make
Tyler does not get this shit at all.
So she tells you the name. You can make that one up.
Oh god, okay.
That's an interesting name.
Okay. No. Or something else.
Oh god would be a very bad name for someone.
It would be.
What's the first thing the father said? Oh god, oh god.
Yes.
And then what's the other one called? Not again.
And the fourth one, shit, there's a hole in the
Last one, not surprising.
Yes.
Well, you did say this was a lake heading towards an ocean, right?
A lake that is surrounded by a swamp that has an ocean on the outside. But if you follow the road around, and there is a road around, you will go past the Hydra and meet the Narwhal.
Right, okay.
Does it look like this road is well travelled?
This road doesn't look like it's been walked on very often.
So this is technically a swamp lake?
Can I see any
There
evidence
is
of
a
animal
lake
tracks?
inside a swamp.
Right.
So there's a swamp around the outside of the lake, and then there's a forest on the other side.
So it's a very big lake.
So
There's a lot of it's
You
really
see that
shallow.
bit area there?
Oh,
That's the
yeah.
swamp. The green is the forest.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
wow.
like it's essentially like
Yeah.
a delta
Yeah,
that leads out into
Okay, yep.
a swamped area.
yeah.
So it's a rather large area. Each hex there is 2 miles. So it is a large place.
But yeah, so
We'd wanna
so
come
lake
back.
might be more a reference to a somewhat contained body of fresh water surrounded as it gets more brackish into the marsh and then becomes more salt as it goes into the sea.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Oh, that would make this so nice.
Well, that
So
means I
Mark,
have
is
2
there any
options
evidence
then.
of animal
was
tracks
gonna
or
say,
things
that'd
like
be a
that
really
on this
nice lake.
pathway?
Not on the pathway, but you do have some on the forest side of the path, not the lake, swamp, or ocean side of the path.
Okay. So this pathway looks to be of the same design and make as the roads leading out of the ruined city?
Seems to be the same road.
Right, okay.
Hard to tell anything different from it.
Yeah.
You even notice you don't leave footprints on it.
Okay.
This is going to be interesting.
Mm.
Because technically speaking, where the place is defines the name originally.
Yeah.
So, cool. Do you have an idea of how long it might be before we reach this Hydra's location?
You think about a day. Most of these things are about a day apart.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it's sort of a day by definition. You being this type of realm. So it's a day.
Okay. Are we happy to effectively aim to arrive at each location at sunset?
That's basically what's going to happen, yeah.
Well, unless we decide to
Leave it. Different
start out
times.
at midday or something and go
Yes.
for half a day or whatever and travel through the night so that we can arrive at places during the day.
Remember, it's a Fey realm. Things may get interesting.
Well, you arrived at the lake about 2 hours before sunset, and sunset started happening when...
So that's right, it was the fact that someone took a long while to talk.
Yeah.
Yes. I've got to stop. I've got to start using this.
Speak with water.
No, the elf shadow effect.
Okay, so you spend most of the day walking along the road, and you find that you've got the swamp on one side and the forest on the other. And you
I'm
come.
certainly happy enough that we walked, like previously we were walking off the road, but based on the fact the road does not appear to leave tracks, it's probably faster, it's probably easier. I'm happy to go with the road.
You find
Obviously keeping a lookout for anything coming from the forest or the swamp.
You find a strange mouldy construction rising above the reeds and grey-blue trees of the swamp. From a distance it looks like the wooden structure of an overturned ship. As you get closer you see large round spots of bushes and marsh vegetation that has been totally burned around the structure.
Okay.
Well, when we see that, I'll stop it. Like we'll have a bit of a look from a distance before we're likely to be seen by anyone there, and see if we can get an indication of movement or the blackened fire spot still smoking.
No, it looks like it's been blackened for a while. Right.
Okay. Well, sure we don't see anything moving, we'll cautiously approach and.
Give me a nature check.
14 will be 23.
Okay, so looking at it, the structure here seems to be the ribs of a gigantic beast.
So it doesn't look like a ship anymore, it looks like a beast, is that right?
Yeah, it does look like it was once a beast by the size of the ribs.
Yeah.
Right. Can we see any evidence of anything but body?
Give me a perception roll as you guys, investigate roll actually, as you guys have a look around.
All of us?
Yep. I'm assuming you'd all want to be investigating.
Yes. I will use my passive investigation. I will look around nonchalantly.
16 for
I got a natural 20, but 22.
7.
Okay, and what's your passive one, Paul?
Sorry, I got to find the right bit. 21.
Okay. So, Paul, you find that set of footprints that with a star-shaped indentation near them.
Okay. I'll point this out to the others.
And casually, Lani finds nearby the prints that you recognize as worm prints, wyvern prints. Wyvern prints. And you find that the star shape and the boot prints originate from that location and return to it.
Do the boot prints look like they were made by, say, an orc wearing heavy armour?
They actually look to be very Theatan in origin, bearing some of their high style that you've not seen for very often in the land you've been in. Basically, overly engineered boots, not done for decorative or comfort.
So, I will point out the right. Do these prints look recent?
No, they look like they've been here for a while.
Okay.
Months at least.
Okay.
But they were deep enough into the ground that.
Let's see. I'll point these out to everybody and just say there was arriving here likely with another one of those orc riders.
Okay.
But this was a long time ago, or it doesn't look like they're here now.
But the boot prints are certainly not the boot prints of an orc.
And also you find indentations of what appear to be 12 heads covered by underbrush. It's like it was a gargantuan hydra where the heads were each of large size.
how.
I'll have a look at the heads and see if we work out exactly what killed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will give you
I'm
perception
guessing
rolls to
it's
see if you notice something out of the ordinary while you're having a look.
What was that one?
I give you a perception roll to see if you notice something out of the ordinary.
19.
Wait, don't check that one. 17.
24 for me.
Yeah.
17.
That would be. Only an 18.
Okay, one of the heads is slightly bigger than the others, and it has a round hole in its forehead, the same size of the key you were shown by the Undying.
Is that key missing?
Missing.
Okay.
And it also looks as if the creature was burned alive.
That would be how you killed a Hydra.
Alright, okay. So, interesting.
So, based on the pattern of how that moved, does it look like the rider of the wyvern burned the Hydra alive and took the key? Yeah.
And there's nothing in the other 12, the 11 heads.
Nothing on the other 11 heads, no.
Okay.
But the other 11 heads were a fair size smaller than the 12th head.
Right, so none of the, okay, yeah, cool.
So the 12th was probably the main one.
So do we take this thing or leave this here? Like,
I think it's way too big to try and carry.
I think it's
I
just.
thought so.
I think it just means that we might actually have to find the camp.
On the bright
So
side,
get
you don't
this
have to
key.
fight a Hydra of
Yes,
gargantuan
this is
size.
true.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd much rather not do
I'm
that.
not trying to get a key in this Hydra's forehead while it's moving.
Right.
Just creep up on it while
Here,
it's
hold on.
asleep
Let me
and
cut
pull it out.
this into your
That's what you're gonna
forehead, and then all the heads are like
Yeah.
popping up. So it looks like we might have to find this camp where these riders fly
do.
off.
It appears so.
Yeah.
Yep. But I guess if we keep heading along the coast out to the narwhal in the first place,
Yeah.
since the orc did not give much description or indication exactly where his camp was.
No.
But he did say that there were multiple camps,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that the god is the god of the forest, not in the camps.
Okay.
Okay, so as you so you'd probably set up for the night because you know
Yep.
you wouldn't make it all the way to the other one before dark.
Yeah.
Although we will aim to actually put a few miles between us and the Hydra bones on the fact that, hang on, if anything comes looking. So,
Yeah, I think that's probably a better idea.
You don't really want things to think of you as a snack.
Yeah.
Snacks can be quite bad.
and particularly this type of snatch that might attack a gargantuan 12-headed Hydra.
There is that.
Or sorry, the type of things that consider a gargantuan 12-headed Hydra a snack. Or even a full meal.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, people have made comment about the Tarrasque and the fact that it had spikes on its back. That indicates it's defending from something larger.
Mm.
And if a Tarrasque needs to defend itself from something,
It's scary.
I don't want to be where these.
though the theory of the Tarrasque is that it's the equivalent of the essence of the world. So if
To an
you
extent.
if you kill it, you can kill the world. In some settings,
In some settings.
it's actually written up that way.
Yes, and you absolutely know. You talk to a Munchkin when he mentions taking out more than one Tarrasque,
Mm-hmm.
particularly at a time. Actually, like the
I didn't tell you about the time I took out the family.
yeah no, yeah. I don't know if they've kept it for 5th edition, but in 3.5
Mm-hmm.
they changed it for 4th. But in 3.5, part of the way to kill a Tarrasque is you've got to get it down to minus its original hit points, and then wish for it to die. You've got to cast a wish spell.
Wow. That's pretty intense.
While it's healing itself 40 hit points around.
Right.
Jeez.
So you've got to keep it.
You have to get it
Keep
down.
it
Keep
down.
it down.
Yes, get it down, keep it down. It's pretty well immune to spells.
Wow.
Yeah. And it
That's
has
intense.
ridiculous armor class.
Yeah, that sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's basically
it's a
designed to
cap
be
level
a party kill creature,
Yeah.
where people can devise ways of beating it. Most of the time, it's badly run terrorists that get beaten,
Yes.
or extremely skilled players that take it down.
Yeah.
So it's
very well prepared.
and sometimes it needs to be both the badly run
Yeah.
terrorist with the extremely skilled characters.
Yeah.
That's how dangerous they are.
Yeah. They are. If you've got one of these, the GM is saying, "Run away or die."
Right. Yeah.
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 Okay. But in this setting, the dragons can challenge a Tarrasque.
Well, yes, because they're beyond the level 20 system, class system.
So that would be one of the threats to a Tarrasque, is the dragons.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you're resting up for the night a few miles away,
Yep.
who's on first watch?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Okay, Tidal, you get to make a perception roll to see if you notice something.
I regret it over. Tidal is too busy thinking about his second daughter. He got
Or
a
his
9.
third.
Or his third, or however many. Say 9.
Okay. As you're thinking interesting thoughts, Drazzle taps you on the shoulder.
I freak out. Jump like a meter.
I thought you're supposed to be calm
What
and
do you want,
meditative.
Razzle? Can you not bother me while I'm trying to see stuff?
He points up.
I'll look up.
Give me another perception. With advantage.
Well, good thing I got advantage in that time because it was a
Yeah.
1. Not that it made much of a difference because I see even less now.
What, a 1?
5.
Okay. So looking up, you're trying to stop Drazzle from whatever he's doing is distracting you. At this point, you also notice he's still got wings.
Dazzle's got wings.
Yeah, you hadn't really noticed his wings that
Which
much.
means this is the late model one.
Oh.
The one that knows you in your future.
When did you have those?
He doesn't yet. Per our timeline.
Yeah, but Tyler still can't get his head around this whole timeline and stuff.
He stretches one wing out and says, Drazzle always had wings.
Okay.
They just didn't show for a while.
Well, what's okay? Nice wings. What am I looking at?
Did you see a wyvern?
No, your wings are in the way. What wyvern?
Wyvern. Rider.
I don't see.
Glowy staff.
No, can't see it.
You just see lots of stars. Pretty stars.
Yeah, I can't see anything.
He coughed on the back of the head and said, you can hear him muttering in Draconic as he walks off.
That's fair.
It's like Drazzle not know why. Drazzle will not understand. Drazzle frustrated. Drazzle thinks Tidal spend too much time in water.
Not wrong. I will badly go back to watching stuff I apparently can't see.
Drazzle wakes up Luell.
Yes, Drazzle.
Title is useless.
Yes.
Tidal not watching, and then he walks off.
What's going on?
All he says is Tidal not watching, and then he walks off.
Oh. Sorry, I thought he said trouble. I get up.
You're sort of seeing Tidal looking all around, trying to figure out.
Not noticing anything.
Pick up a pebble.
See, I don't know what I'm looking for here.
Walk up to the right side, just behind his right shoulder, and then drop this on his left shoulder.
He jumps.
Okay, jumps again. Drazzle. Oh. Is this one of those Drazzle time things?
Drazzle drops a rock on your other shoulder.
Oh, mother of...
But he doesn't just
Okay.
forthright, just like...
What we're checking for with you isn't Drazzle. Drazzle presently having wings is.
So
Because he doesn't have them yet.
Right. Well, I could have sworn a few seconds ago he had wings when he dropped the other.
No, he's got wings on. But during his lifetime at our present time, he doesn't have wings yet. This is Drazzle from the future.
Right.
And the past, he says.
Well, yes, because you do that as well.
Yeah, see, this is what I can never follow.
But Tidal always follow.
Apparently.
Tidal can't get rid of Drazzle.
If it wasn't for your word, Drazzle, sometimes I think I wouldn't be following anywhere.
Drazzle not mind, he likes his word. Drazzle's words are good.
Usually. When I can read them. Apparently I'm looking for something.
Is that the next title of your next book?
Apparently you weren't looking at it.
Apparently. Or
Oh.
one of them in the series.
Drazzle, what
This
was
is
he
a
looking for?
Wyvern with Frider and light source.
Where?
Sky. He missed. Flew past. Went north.
Well,
Went north.
he doesn't see in the dark.
light source in sky. Very bright.
There's a lot of them too,
Brighter than stars.
so you missed it.
I got distracted by the wings.
Drazzle go sleep now.
How did you know the rhythm was there?
Was on watch. Tried to help.
Thank you.
Frustrated. Sleeping now.
Apparently I peeved off Drazzle.
By not seeing what he was pointing at.
Wings are in the way. They make better windows than they do doors. Oh no.
No, they don't
Better
make
doors
very...
than they do windows.
Yeah.
This is exactly why I don't get Drazzle.
That was your analogy, not his. So you don't get you. I think you need some more meditation time.
Probably.
In the background here, Drazzle writing it down.
At the back of his book, it's like a scoreboard. Drazzle 1. So Drazzle 200 title -3 or something.
Yeah. That's funny.
But yeah. And Tidal really should leave talking to Drazzle to me, but Drazzle keeps talking to Tidal because apparently it's fun and he wants a second book out of you.
Title likes Drazzle. I
Yeah.
just don't always understand him.
Yes. And when you need to understand him, you should get me to do it. Because I usually can.
Yes, well you were sleeping at the time, so.
Well, that's true. That's actually been true a couple of times.
But
keeps
now
talking-
you're here, if you'd like to watch what I can't see.
Certainly.
Alright, I'll sit down and meditate then.
You start hearing about rather discount, very unhappy sounding snore coming from Drazzle.
He even sounds unhappy in his
How
sleep.
can you snore unhappily?
He is Drazzle.
It's Drazzle.
It's an art form.
Yes.
You do get that very unhappy sort of tones from the snoring.
Well, I'm trying to imagine like what unhappy snoring you would sound like.
Title.
Just grumbly.
Yeah, right.
Some kind of dragonish roar, grumple, the
Grumble?
occasional title name.
It's funny.
The title stupid.
Time to watch.
And that morning rocks around rather nicely.
Breakfast.
No fish on the side of the swamp for you though.
Plus I don't know who he gave cooking duty. It wasn't me.
There's stuff burning on the fireplace.
Okay.
Apparently,
That's his thing.
Drazzle took cooking duties.
Uh,
Every time you say no one, it's Drazzle.
Right, okay. There you go. So quick,
I was
grab
gonna
it
say,
while it's still.
if I wasn't actually assigned to watch for the evening, then I would have set a few snares overnight, and
Yeah.
or we caught a bunny, check them in the morning, and it could be a
Yes.
bunny roasting over the fire.
In which case, then he who's yet to be named was cooking.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Just check for fins.
You know that
Let
guy.
those ones go.
That guy was cooking.
Okay, so how would Prey go with catching bunny rabbits that can talk to him?
Okay. If it gets to the snare and finds that the animals are sentient, then obviously they're not for eating.
In which case, then there is no bunny rabbits roasting in the morning.
Right.
Okay, so it would have been a case of yes. I would have found the snares, released it.
Are they like,
And
help me? Or are they like, the fuck, dude?
apologise.
It's more of the swearing.
Apologise for disturbing it and frightening it.
And it, as thanks for releasing it, it delivers you some vegetables and nuts.
I was going to say, so I was going to go looking around for some roots and nuts and things.
Right. So he goes off hunting and comes back with vegetarian food. Fair enough. I have no problem with it.
Going the gathering rather than the hunting.
Yes, you went and gathered a rabbit and he gave you some stuff.
A lot easier to dig it up myself.
That's true.
Did he technically just rob a bunny?
Well,
No.
he ended up freeing a bunny after capturing it. It's like, look, I'm setting you free from whoever set this trap.
Yeah, there you go.
Whatever bastard.
Whatever.
Yes,
Yeah.
don't read the name tag on the back of the trap.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's the first time you've ever met a color-changing bunny, too.
Color changing.
Ooh. I don't know why they're friends.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
It was obviously a trick of the morning light as the light slowly changed as the sun rose.
Black, white, purple, pink, 3. What?
You forgot the polka dot phase.
Yes.
Maybe someone's sending you a message.
Yes. Here, have some acid.
I believe those trout you had the night before had some unusual side effects.
Maybe. That's what it
Yeah.
is.
Okay, so yes, you managed to cook a nice
It'll be a vegetable stew, effectively.
vegetable stew for people. Drizzle quite happily digs in.
Yep. Oh, and spiced using prestidigitation. So.
What? You weren't happy with the herbs I'd used?
Well, if you... Okay, I'm not going to just put it in. I'll discuss it with you. Okay. Do you want a bit more breadth of the flavour than what you've got there? I can add to that.
You wish to cook?
It also means we have stuff that can be salted.
Right,
There's
so.
salt added. You don't usually get that from herbs at all.
So when the princess Jason runs out, so does the salt.
It actually specifies that. Well, sorry. You put it on, you eat it, and then it runs out. While it's inside you, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. What's inside you doesn't
Does
matter.
that
Once
make
it's spicy taste buds.
Yeah, it's flavour
low in-
salt, not dietary salt.
Low in sodium then?
Or salting to preserve.
Functionally, yes. Functionally.
It's because it's not going into your system unless you manage to get through it too quickly.
Well, I mean,
Yes.
like, we're next to an ocean. We can get salt if we want.
Yeah.
Okay, so after a nice hearty breakfast,
Yes. With no heart in it.
Just lots of blowfish.
Yes.
you start heading along the coast, and you finally reach the ocean after a few hours walk.
Okay.
While you're walking, I will give you a perception roll.
24.
I watch the path.
Wow.
or her
This
back.
path is so great.
It
Wow.
is. No,
the
it is.
sky.
It all
is so
sort of
nice.
glints in the light.
Yeah. It's,
Wow. These plants. They're so plant-like.
I got 14 with my plus 10.
Oh, look, a wood. I'm glad I came.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Tato got a 5.
Yeah.
So.
But apparently
Title
Lana's
agrees.
the only one paying
Yeah.
Okay,
attention.
no, title's more so. I got 10 as a total.
So Lani with your really high roll.
Yeah.
I can't get as low as 5.
Because what's his face got only a 14, so apparently Lana's the only one paying attention after
Yes.
hearing how Title wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I was telling you about that.
Well, no one actually told me about the interruption overnight.
Drazzle's having this conversation
Oh, I
about
haven't
how
got
Tidal wasn't paying attention in Drazzle speak. Everyone else except for Lani is completely caught up in the conversation.
Yep.
Because Drazzle doesn't really go on about things very often, but for some reason he's just got a bee in his bonnet about Tidal not paying attention.
It's
Yeah.
funny. I like
Yes.
You've never heard him rant this much about anything before.
it. Like, I know Draza doesn't speak too often, so he's been speaking quite a bit, so he must have been really annoyed with
Usually,
this.
yes, usually they have a go at title.
And that's when you notice that hundreds of trees are off to the into the winter section of the forest seem to have had their hearts ripped out.
Ooh,
Hmm.
that would be a more.
And it's a
convenient
rather
thing.
desolate area of the forest.
Hmm.
So, by hearts ripped out, does that mean that it seems like there's holes?
A hole in the center of the tree with the core of the tree ripped out.
Oh, okay.
Ah, yeah. Sorry, distraction.
So...
It moved.
Oh, it moved.
Oh.
Yep.
Throw away your horrible thing.
So it was distracting.
I guess as as I'm looking at this, I try to notice if there's any movement in that part of the forest, or if I can hear anything, like somebody still doing that.
Looking out in there, it's the most desolate spot of this forest you've come across so far. Everything here looks dead.
Okay.
How far
Is
off
there-
the path is it?
Probably about 100 feet off the path.
Okay,
I
so
say-
not far.
I try to get everybody's attention and be like, hey, you guys, check this out. Somebody did this to these trees. So I'll try to direct everybody to kind of walk
I'm currently
with
having
me
to go
that
and
way.
look at it, see if there's any evidence of animal life in the area or anything like that.
Okay.
And also whether or not we actually feel watched in this area.
As you move in, give me an investigation check.
Nope. 5.
21 from Paul.
21, yeah.
25 for me.
17.
I'm just like really perplexed how they got these holes in these trees.
Yeah, so you're staring at these two.
Yeah.
Apparently when you
Different
point
look at
things
that.
out the title, he's okay.
That's why
Yeah.
Drazzle's so annoyed. Because he pointed something out to you and you still didn't notice. Like for anyone else you notice, but when Drazzle does it.
Oh, that's what it is.
Oh,
So Jazz
yeah.
does it.
Right. That's a bit itchy for a revenge.
But it is fitting with his rant. Okay, having a look around, you find boot prints and wyvern prints all over the area. The boot prints match what you found at the Hydra, and they each have the star-shaped imprint near them. And quite a few of these trees that haven't been killed, the heart ripped out of them, have X's on them.
Might
And
not be
how
full.
is the X mark on them?
About the same spot where the others have had the center ripped out of them.
But like you could like painted on, drawn on, cut in.
Yeah.
Seems to be burnt in.
Specific.
And these ones, so these trees aren't dead yet.
Not dead yet.
No. Okay.
Do we get any indication or feeling of it being watched in this area? Like in the whole time in this land, felt like being watched. It's
You still get the feeling of being watched, but not as
Yeah.
much.
not as much.
Seems
Okay.
that this area is holding less magic than other areas.
So they're extracting magic-y goodness from the trees?
I would say so.
Well, if we're here to try and find the source of the tree of life, which presumably keeps all these trees alive as well, possibly killing these trees might weaken the tree of life.
Or they're taking the magic of the Tree of Life through the magic of these trees and collecting it to do something.
Is there any evidence on the trees that have had their hearts cut out that they were marked with an X beforehand?
They're about the same spot the X was marked.
Yep.
And basically, it sort of looks as if something burnt their way in.
Ooh.
How tall are these?
So not cut.
The
but
living ones still.
Fried.
Does it look like
like searing blast or something similar?
all the trees that are still remaining with an X, does it look like they've all been done at the same time?
Around the same time, yes.
How tall are they?
And that the trees here are all in the 200 to 300 feet mark.
Ooh,
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not counting that.
And are they, the ones that are actually dead, do they look like they were bigger or smaller at the time?
About the same size. They're each at least 10 feet diameter.
Yeah, if I fell from that, even with slow fall, I'd be dead.
Drozzle looks at you and says, should invest in wings.
Yeah, but then I would have seen things.
When fall, wings help.
You do it then.
Okay, he starts climbing.
I was kidding. Please don't. Title. Wait, title.
He
Who
looks
am
down
I?
at you and he says, you title me Drazzle.
I'm
You
gonna
keep making mistake.
You
Well, that's 'cause
title
you keep taking
me
this timey-wimey
Drazzle.
stuff I don't understand.
Him, we don't know.
Just tell us what you see from up there.
I see Title looking up at me with anxiety.
Of the land around about, please.
You know what? I'm gonna ask Llewell if Llewell gets what I'm trying to get at and just explain to Drazzle what we need him to do. Because apparently I can't communicate with Drazzle today.
That's funny.
Drazzle
We're
looks
getting a
at
bird's eye view.
Llewell and tells Llewell, looks like baby dragon bounced around all forest area.
Okay.
You roll a 1 on
So-
his perception roll.
Oh, hold on, wait. Could you just describe what you see?
He did, that's how we described it.
Oh God.
And then he just jumps off and sticks his wings out and glides down.
That's funny.
Sure.
Quick question.
Yep.
Speak with inanimate object.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing that wouldn't work on a tree since there's also a separate speak with plant spell. Is that correct?
It might work on the dead tree because it's no longer living.
True.
Yeah.
It would technically then become an object.
It is, yes.
But it's probably less talkative too.
Yeah, but calling you tree necromancer has a nice ring.
I
to
would
it.
just be careful. Their response might be a bit wooden.
Right. You mean they might be feeling a bit burnt out?
Well, I'm sure you can get to the root of the problem.
Well, that's what we're here for.
Well, that and branching out into other things.
Or you can just pick up and leave.
Okay, I'm done.
Title called a wooden.
That's because my brain's too corny.
So do you want to attempt to speak to inanimate object, Jeremy?
I will give it a try. I'll just
have to come up with a
unfortunately,
secret.
it's not a player's handbook book, so I'm not entirely sure what the spell involves. So I'm just trying to see if it happens to be in your
It would be the same,
list.
roughly, as speak with,
Effectively, speak with plant type of thing.
yeah, or speak with animal.
Yeah.
I think it's in this one. Speak
Okay,
with
well,
inanimate
plants that
objects.
talks about imbue them with limited sentience and animation, give them the ability to communicate, follow simple commands, question about events in the area within the past day. Okay, speak with plant.
I've got it in front of me. So you
Okay, you've
awaken,
got it.
you awaken a spirit that resides in an inanimate object, such as a rock, sign, or table, and ask it questions. The spirit is
Right.
neutral toward you unless you've done something to harm or help it. The spirit can give you information about its environment and things it has observed with its limited senses.
It can act as spy for you in certain situations.
Okay. Well, I will. First of all, see if it'll respond, and if so, ask it what happened here.
The tree does respond. It says, when it birthed, it sensed a being through the ground, very large, and a smaller one walking with 3 legs. Approaching big one as it takes off, and it would return every season and use fire.
So
And
it's harvested.
use fire, return every season, and using fire on your neighbours.
It can't see. It can only feel vibration. So it can feel the heat. It can feel the impact the big creature and the little creature with 3 legs.
Do you know how long it's been since the creature was last here? How many cycles of the warmth of the sun or warmth of the season?
It was here last season. It is due in about 2 or 3 months.
Hmm. Okay. Is there anything I can do to help return you to your previous state and or help your neighbours to recover?
It says to you, I am a spirit of a fallen tree. If you were to restore me, I would no longer be a spirit of a fallen tree. So restoring me would destroy what I am.
Presumably you may previously have been a spirit of a living tree?
No, I started as a...
you were birthed at the time when the 3-legged creature and the large creature arrived. Yes.
When the tree died, the spirit you're talking to was created.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
So when you talk to an inanimate object, you're talking to it after it died.
Yes,
Yep.
because the spirit of the living thing is gone.
Yeah.
Although one might carry over from one to the other, it's not certain.
It does not have the memory of it.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't have the memory of it. It may still be the...
It may be related, but it doesn't
Yes.
know.
It's the spirit based on the soul of the tree. So,
And say it was turned into a table and chairs, the table and the chairs would each have different spirits, even if they're made from the same tree.
Yes.
Imagine talking to your cutlery.
That's
the
good.
stuff using compressed wood where you can end it with a knife as sharp as a metal blade? Yes.
So Jeremy, you would have cutlery that can be stone, wood, bone, most likely
Yeah.
bone.
Yeah.
Because there are some bones that are as hard as metal or harder.
Bones are very hard anyway. Very, very hard.
Especially deer horn. Deer horn's extremely hard.
Because it's basically solid. It's equivalent to your teeth.
It's the big trading part of the deer trap is the horns.
Yep.
Yeah. Do some amazing stuff for that stuff.
Okay, so yes, you managed to get that much out of the
Brilliant tool for
dead tree before your spell wears off.
So,
Okay.
But it's still a fair bit of information to get from something that you pretty much gave life to talk to it.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like that's
Though
pretty good information.
you do know that as a spiritologist, you could probably get in touch with spirits of the ancients here.
Depends who the spiritologist he is.
No, he actually is the spiritologist that can get in touch with the
Yeah.
ancients.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be his ancients. He can
That's
get in
true.
touch with the ancients of the land.
Any old ancients. Used to bad songs.
Okay.
So, well, yes. It would appear that the same man that was that killed the Hydra is also killing these trees. Riding the great beast, presumably a woman.
Yes. And someone who can kill a multi-headed Hydra solo is not someone I want to face.
He spoke of it having 3 legs.
So.
He's got a walking stick.
Yeah.
I suspect that's the
star
imprint.
A glowing wizard.
A wizard staff. Yeah.
Or sorcerer.
Well, if he's
magic
using
user staff.
If
there
he's
we
using
go.
fire, then yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it could be a staff of fire, likely. So yeah, it seems that like it's definitely something that he walks with.
Are the trees that are just marked with the X? Are they? They're still alive. Are they healthily alive, or are they sickened and dying?
They are currently healthily alive.
Okay.
But all the one, everything that isn't marked with an X in the area of the ones with the heart removed are all dying. So you can see some living ones amongst the dying ones, but they're the ones marked with an X.
Right.
Okay, so the ones marked with an X appear to be protected from the effect. If it was an area if it was an effect that was eating away at all trees at once, but at various rates, then it would appear that the X seems to be protecting them in some way. Like the X ones are more healthy than non-X ones. Is that right?
That is correct. I will give Llewell a history roll to see if he remembers ancient Elven lore.
Just checking on my familiar for reconnaissance purposes. I may have to climb partway up that tree. Oh, 25.
Natural 20?
No.
Close.
18.
Okay. So, as you think, you do remember an old tale about how the elves of the second civilization could merge with the trees. And not all the elves left.
Yeah. That's normally a sort of druid thing, but yeah.
But they were mostly druidish sort of elves. These were the elves of nature, the second civilization.
So yeah, there'd be druids and druid analogues. I relate this to Peridot and the others, or Parody. So yeah, the elves would meld into trees, and some of them did it for some time.
Right, so these are actually people
so
in
would
these
these
trees.
be the souls of these elves?
So you would probably assume that the ones with the X's on it probably have an elf inside it.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were probably the lifeblood of the forest.
And they're likely to last longer, at least until they're completely removed, when the heart's burnt out of them.
Yes.
And
trying to think of a way to communicate with them.
When they're in the tree, they're basically asleep.
Yeah. Don't have anything to get them out.
Assumingly, the tree keeper of the clan could get them out.
Yes. And these are old enough they may be shadow elves. Is the date right?
The shadow elves never came here.
Oh, that's right. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
They're old
Remember,
enough.
you're bringing the clan for the first time.
They're old enough to have been members of Maladil's court when he led the exodus from this realm after Ilsenel had become a god. And it's before he became a god, after founding Elfheim.
Yeah.
So one of the elven gods who found the first king of Elfheim became the god of Elfheim.
Mm-hmm.
However, it may then be worthwhile to potentially confuse, presumably, was it Mordor?
Moorcroft.
Whatever his name is. Moorcroft, yep. By marking the other trees.
Looking at them, you can probably tell quite easily that the
Which
ones
which ones are healthy and which ones are closer to death.
Yeah, because none of the marked trees look like they're dying at all.
Yeah.
And he seemed to have started from a centre and worked his way out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, okay. Probably a few seasons before he comes back for these ones anyway, so if we can take about the meantime, we don't need to try and confuse him.
No.
But you can imagine that the heart of a elf merger tree would be an interesting magical component for something.
Yes, particularly if you have a whole bunch of them.
Well, he seems to get one every season.
Yes.
So it seems
Yeah.
he needs to get this to either maintain or do a spell every sort. I know that's wrong.
And particularly if it's related to the forest itself,
Yeah.
then it becomes a very, very powerful component.
Especially if this was this is the same rider that took the key from the gigantic Hydra. So he's a very powerful rider.
Yes, as I said, anyone who can solo a multi-headed Hydra is not someone we want to meet.
Well, presumably anyone that can be the destroyer of the second Elven World.
Is it possible? I was going to say, possibly.
If it's that
Not
person.
somebody we want to meet, but is this something that we're going to
We
meet
are going to
according
meet.
to prophecy?
This is where I was talking earlier about. So
Yeah.
if we're going to meet them, it's going to be peacefully, because if we get violent, we're not going to win.
What's the lifespan of orcs normally?
Generally, however long it takes someone to stab them, including their friends.
Okay.
So
Very few orcs have ever lived to old age.
right, but if you're trying to take out an entire elven race, elves generally have the ability to run away and hide and outlive the thing after them.
Yes.
So it's highly likely this guy is using this to make sure he outlives them, so he can ensure the destruction of their entire race.
Assuming he's an orc.
Well, solely magic-y, elvy, orgy stuff.
That's true.
I reckon he's, and this is purely title speculation, but I reckon he's using some kind of life-prolonging thingy magic. So he can outlast the elves and kill them all.
That would seem very likely if it's the same one that apparently destroyed the second Elven World.
Yeah, I mean, how else could he?
Because my understanding is that happened slightly longer ago than last week.
Well, you know how I am with time. Just ask Drazzle. Actually, don't. He's in a mood.
You hear from across the room. Drazzle would explain, but Tate will never listen.
I disagree with him, but he's not half wrong. It's not that I don't want to listen, half the time I don't understand.
And you hear coming over, understanding is a three-edged sword.
They
Why
do
do
exist.
swords have three edges?
Small sword. Some types of small sword.
It hurts more, Drazzle says.
Which blacksmith do you go to?
Really good ones.
Cool.
And I'll stick with the normal ones, thank you.
Drazzle says makes cut uneven.
I guess so.
Uneven cut, not heal properly. You stab someone with sword, they die.
Well, isn't that the point of swords?
Not all swords, some swords leave clean cut.
Some of them are for just slashing, like parodies, or like his.
Right. Okay.
As the weapon master, I now explain the differences in swords to title.
And you're getting that glazed look from Tyler, wishing I probably didn't want to know all that.
It's not a weapon that I use.
Trying to absorb as much as
Personally,
possible.
I prefer this sword over most.
Well, since you're obviously mainly talking about metal stuff, I'm going to continue leading down the pathway while they follow along in their interesting discussion.
Okay,
Yes.
so I'll finish the session with you guys walking down the pathway, talking about swords and various weapons.
Tyler just kind of lags behind, looking at his own shorts, going, "But I like my short sword. I don't want a third point."
And very,
Third point.
very appropriately, I also discussed different types of appropriate gripping of different swords. And so with teeth, bad. Type on grip with your feet, bad.
Yes.
Psychokinesis, do it if you can, but usually bad.
Yes.
So, yep. Okay.
3-edged, that's hollow ground.
Hmm.
So it's this shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of them actually have a double edge. It's not actually for cutting,
Mm.
because you want it reasonably tough, reasonably strong for parrying.
Yeah.
So it's not actually a three-edged slashing sword. It's still for punching holes in people.
Yeah.
It doesn't cut.
I was
but-
gonna say, yeah.
But the edges are sharp enough that you don't want to grab it, because you can still have your fingers damaged.
And
Right.
it will make a not nicely closing wound
So-
on someone.
yeah,
Oh,
a pokey
it'll
sword.
definitely do that.
Yeah.
Admittedly, the existence or otherwise of three-edged swords is one of the paradoxes of the phrase "understanding is a three-edged sword."
Yeah.
Mm.
Like, Stefan the player knows these exist. Title on the other hand.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, you walk off as the session runs to an end. You've managed to survive the encounter with the Hydra.
Oh,
By not
yeah,
being
it
there
was
when
so
it died.
scary.
And the Naiad.
And the Dryad encounter, even though it was a Naiad.
Sorry, Undine, yes.
Undine, yes.
And yeah, so we managed to find 2 places and no keys.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
you found one key, but you weren't able to get it.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
So we found 2 places and gained no keys.
I don't know. That was a little. That whole Hydra thing was a
Yeah.
little too easy. I'm thinking when we
Second
get back with the key, it like
Yeah.
gets up and starts
Cross-section.
swapping its
Yeah.
head. So you gotta try and get the key in the freaking skull. It's like, stop moving!
Yeah.
No, because we don't want to put the key back in that head. We want to put the key back in the middle of the like the ruins in the middle of town.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
There are
So,
keyholes
like, we
in the
need
very
the
center of
key.
town.
right. Okay.
So she's like, I'm not gonna get the key back until he apologizes. And we're like, well, we need both keys. So
Yeah, but then it begs the question: who the hell shoved the key in this Hydra in the first place?
Most likely elves.
Care to
Or
explain?
one was carrying, it. The Hydra 18.
No, you would expect it would have been the guardian of the key
Okay,
as a
like
backup
actually,
for
yeah.
the tree guardian. The tree keeper could do everything needed by himself, and the backup is the keys.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
sorry. I'm just
But they
imagining.
don't want the keys to be readily available, which is why there's 12 of them to find,
Yeah.
probably
yeah,
each
of
with
course.
their own defender and guardian.
Yeah, that's why you do that.
I'm just imagining like the tree keeper and I don't know the champion just walking down in the forest, going, "I'm so tired of hiding my key. Just shove it in a Hydra's head."
I know the perfect one.
You knock it
Okay,
out,
well, thank you very much,
and I
all.
insert the key under the skin of
Have
its
a good night,
little paw
Jeremy.
See you
We will
later.
Have a
see
good
you
night.
tomorrow
We'll see you
night.
tomorrow or next week, or
Thingy.
are we still going on this one in 2 weeks' time?
I'm probably
Yes.
not, because that will be around Christmas Day. Let me
That
have a
would-
look at dates.
it will be
The
No,
a couple days
the
before.
21st. We could potentially do it, but
I'm down to play if you guys still are.
I'll be down
Yeah.
in Melbourne by that point, so I
Ah.
may or may not have
internet.
a reasonable
Maybe
internet
nothing.
connection. I don't know. So,
Yes.
Well, let us know if you think you'll have internet, because we can always play it by ear as we get closer.
well, otherwise, if I don't see you or hear from you before Christmas, have a good Christmas and New Year all.
You too.
And otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow night or next week.
We'll see you later. Bye,
Bye-bye.
Jeremy.